Welcome to the 22nd edition of the Fallout Feed Roundtable. It's the 4th episode of the 3rd season. We're the show that compares and contrasts Fallout experiences through lively roundtable discussions, playing through the same quests with characters that have been randomly assigned drastically different attributes. Welcome, everyone.
Perfect time for me to sneeze. Gee whiz. Sorry about that. Hey, thanks, Ray, for the friendly introduction there. I am Andrew, and we are joined by Ray this evening. This is the Fallout Feed Roundtable, everyone. Thanks for joining us. We are, again, in the 3rd season. If you are a new listener or anything, please check out our previous episodes of the season, get a feel and an idea. We've got a random character generator, and we play through some quests, and it's good fun. If you like to play along, it's never too late to join on. So please send us some email at thefalloutfeed@gmail.com if you'd like to get involved with the Fallout Roundtable. And usually we had planned tonight that we were going to go through the second portion, the second batch of quests for the session 2, which were the Raider Radio 1 and Like a Good Neighbor. But due to a couple of scheduling conflicts, we are missing a couple of hosts tonight. So Ray was nice enough to join back up tonight so I could have some person to bounce ideas off of. So thanks for joining us, Ray. Ray is our play-along participant. How are you doing tonight, Ray?
Doing great, thanks.
That's awesome. Thanks again for joining up. I think next batch session Victor might be involved. I don't want to promise anything, but I'm trying to get Victor roped in to see if he can join us for the next batch. So if you're doing a play along character, we might ask you to hop on the show sometime. That's one of the great things about doing this roundtable. It's a community centered event. And speaking of the community involvement here, this episode is just going to be lots of feedback for our session 2 quests. So tonight we will actually hear from Ray. He'll join us live, and we'll actually hear some audio feedback from him. We'll get a second entry from Jeremy. Thank you, Jeremy, for throwing in your thoughts. Leon has also written us in from Texas, so Leon, we'll hear from him. Pat sent us in some stuff. I think he's playing George Clooney in some airport or something recently. We've got Aaron, Adam, and Benoit that all send in emails that Pat actually read and sent in audio files of. So we'll get Pat reading emails from other people, which is pretty awesome. I don't know, that's really funny. But also we can look forward to an email from Michelle, and I think Ray, you'll probably help us out by reading that. And and with all that stuff, man, we still have the 4th episode of King of the Bunker Hill to get through tonight. So big, long episode, lots of stuff involved here. So everyone, please stick around. Nice, full, long show. Ray, any thoughts or adventures or any just funny side things going on in the game before we get involved with this play along feedback?
Nope, I've been a little bit on hold. Don't want to get too far ahead of things, but
yeah,
definitely have had taken Maximilian out a couple of different places, trying some different things out to see just how bad we can be.
Oh, that's good. I've actually been, just in the meantime, so I don't get too far ahead of our side quest, been working through the main quest, which I haven't played in a very long time because spoiler alert, once you figure out that your son is the evil arch nemesis, you're just like, what the fuck? So the only thing I want to do then is kill him. I don't want to. I'm very unmotivated to go rescue my son after I figured out the big twist. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, and Maximilian is not he wasn't in the vault.
Oh, great. Yeah.
He was a raider. No, so he just happened to pass through the vault, and that's where he started. But yeah, it's not his son.
No. Yeah. So that's great, but I've just been ignoring that main quest for such a long time. But in order to sort of gain some experience points, yet not make too much progress past our assigned quest, I've been doing the main quest, which I haven't done in a very long time, and I'm actually sort of impressed. It's a pretty fun little sci-fi, adventure, and until you get to the whole, father in the institute. But leading up to the getting to the institute, it's a really interesting quest. I've done the thing where you go fight Kellogg, and now Virgil is telling me to go find a courser now, so I'm on my way over to the institute, the old, institute ruins or whatever.
Yeah, there's a lot of hoops to jump through and before you actually get to the institute.
But it's really fun. It's like I didn't give it enough credit, I don't think, as being like a really well written sci-fi fantasy adventure. You know what I mean? Like it is extremely well written. Yep. I mean, a lot of people sort of give it trouble for having the voice protagonist, and it takes away your fantasy adventure, your role play. You can't role play because you're already assigned a voice, and I understand that point, but I don't know that it takes. I'm just going to admit I didn't give it the story enough credit there for a while, just mainly because I haven't played it in a long time. So it's good to get back to the main story. I've been enjoying it a lot. So anybody out there, if you've been ignoring the main story, go ahead and play that again if you haven't done it in a while. It might have been since we played it for the round table. The first,
I think it comes up for the argument for dragons versus non-dragons in Skyrim. There's a lot of people that play without. They say don't play with dragons, and I think it's very similar in Fallout.
No, it is. That's totally a different game. You're right. And in Skyrim, the last few times I played it, I just was like, screw that. I'm not doing the main quest. I'm not opening up those dragons. I'm not going to that Western Watchtower. Screw you, Balrog. No, what's his name? Balgruuf. I'm not going to help him. But that's a great point. Dennis, welcome to the show. I'm glad you got a chance to hop on. I'm sorry for your loss in the family. And really, if you need to take off, I understand. But thank you for hopping on the show here.
No, it's just a little healing for me. Thank you.
Yeah, that's great. Well, you're always welcome to the show. Dennis, I understand that you've been, before we hop into some audio feedback, which we've got a lot to get through tonight, I understand that you had some trouble loading Tales, and then you had sort of a blessing in disguise and presented it in a disaster form. That was
I had to do a total reboot from base of my Xbox. I really looked up and had to scour the internet for people that had to do this, but I was one of the few people that had to do basically a reformat of your hard drive on the Xbox. But I wasn't able to get Tales to load prior to that, but when I had to reformat my drive, when I loaded Fallout 4, I was able to get Tales of the Commonwealth in, and it's working just peachy keen right now.
Oh, I can't believe that. That's so awesome. So tell me, you said through mods that you'll probably be able to catch up fairly quickly. Tell me about that process. What mods are you using? Something that'll let you level up artificially, or how does that work?
Well, I'm using a lot of the enhanced, raiders and enhanced gunners and enhanced, basically everything that can buff a faction in the game. I'm playing with that, and it's really intense. I mean, the super mutants, you can kill a super mutant. I think it's a missile launcher. They have various names for the super mutants, but the high-end super mutants, if you kill one of those, and they're not easy to take down, if you take down one of those, it would be the equivalent of turning in a quest. So the area around the library, just outside of the Boston library.
I don't need your snooty East Coast pronunciations, please. Library, come on.
Library. But the area between the Boston library and the Trinity Tower is just it's just a hazard. So you can go in there and you can basically level up. You can get 3 levels doing that because the enemies are super, super tough.
Yeah, that's awesome. So you're just doing it by gaining more XP by having more difficult enemies. I thought that there was some sort of reconfigure mod where you could give yourself some extra levels, or
there's various mods where you can artificially enhance your levels.
Yeah.
there's
Effective good ones.
there's effect. There's the War Never Changes. One of the big popular mods is the War Never Changes mod, where it overhauls the entire game as far as how the balance goes. But I'm using I'm not gonna lie, I'm using a lot of cheat mods. I'm using the enhanced weapons and the enhanced raiders and all these things,
Yeah.
different things. So it's really artificially leveling me up pretty quickly.
When you say cheat mod, you don't have to be ashamed and I don't like that they're called cheat mods, but like, what do you mean by a cheat mod? Just like your guns do like super damage and that sort of thing, or
Well,
like
for
life, or
for the weapon mod that I'm using is it's really it's just beyond the damage that you would do on vanilla game.
Okay.
But it has a lot of different textures and a lot of different styles. It's really enhancing the game. So
sweet. Well, thanks again for hopping on the show, Denny. That's awesome. I'm glad to have you again. And Ray, again, thanks a lot for helping me out this evening. But Pat, I'm sorry that you had to miss the show this evening. But one thing he did do was send us in some audio feedback. So Pat, we'll go ahead and listen in and see what Pat has to say. Thanks, Pat.
Hey guys, it's Pat here. Doing a little phone in for tonight's.
Sorry, guys. I'll just mention real quick. Sometimes I have to jack up the audio level a little bit. So if you can mute your mics while the audio feedback's going on, just so your mics don't turn out to be super loud, that'd be awesome. All right, here's some Pat.
The show recording. Unfortunately, I was supposed to be home about an hour ago as I record this, but due to massive flight delays, we have not even left where we're trying to get out of right now. So my wife and I we were away for a family thing, and have gotten stuck at our destination, unfortunately. So that's no fun. Never fun to be flight delayed. So I thought I would just send in a quick voicemail feedback, or maybe not so quick. I don't know how long this is going to ramble on. Just kind of what I've been doing Fallout-wise. So I won't talk about any of the sort of main quest stuff for Roundtable at all. But for say some of the side quest stuff, I'll just mention that. So Elsa is up to level, I think, 48. Maybe she's 49 even, because I remember thinking she's awfully close to 50, which is, that's a milestone that a lot of people think of with a build taken up to 50. I think Weirdest Build, my favorite Twitch streamer, and Fudge Bucket guys, I think they typically will go to 50, because what that means is that's where you can be guaranteed to max out your perk tree if you've got a level 10 perk that you're working on, like what is it, nuclear physicist or ricochet or whatever. Those max out at 50. So a lot of builders will take their builds up to 50. So I just remember, hey, I'm close to that. Was thinking about it. So what I've been doing is just a little bit of side questing. I've done a little bit of everything with Elsa. Her signed Commonwealth faction is actually, I think, the railroad. Now that I think about it, I should look this up. I should have at least opened her character sheet before starting to babble at you guys. But she, she's probably done most. Commonwealth faction is the railroad. She's probably done most with the railroad. Although she's done a few things for Preston. Preston, as irritating as he is indeed a constant source of very straightforward quests. His quests are always go there, kill this thing, kill that thing. And I do find his, as usual, I've got another job for you comment just irritating every time he says it. But at the same time, he's a reliable source of something to do. So in that regard, he's useful. So I've been doing a little bit for him, fair amount for the railroad. Got my ballistic weave rocking up to level 4. I decided I was going to definitely play Elsa to at least get all of her sign stats up to level 4 or to max level. So I felt like that was kind of in the spirit of the round table. I won't do it by 50, but I think I've got, it's obviously not at my Xbox. I think I've got 4 of them up to level, but to the highest level. I've got Mysterious Stranger, Pickpocket, Lead Belly, and Gunslinger all maxed out. Basher, which I bitched about that way too much already. Basher, Lady Killer, and Scrapper, I don't have maxed yet. Actually, Scrapper, I might have just maxed that out. I think maybe it's either Scrapper or Mysterious Stranger. I don't have max, but so I feel like that was kind of the spirit of the roundtable. If I'm going to take her all the way up to level 50 or 60 or whatever, I should make sure I max out her stats. I did for the first time do use the exploding pants feature of pickpocket. I snuck up on a robot and dropped a live grenade in its inventory and blew him up that way. Which actually for robots, I prefer robotics experts, but that was fun. I think my problem with the pickpocket is you have to get up, sneak up to somebody to be able to activate the pickpocket, and my sneak is not very good. So that actually is what caused me to embark on the current thing I'm working on, which is grab some magazines to buff up some of my skills. I've heard Weirdest on Twitch talk about several times that if you get all 10 of the sneak mags, that's really just about as good as having a lot of points in sneak. So we only got 1 point in sneak right now. But I thought, oh, what the hell, that'll be a good side quest. I actually have never made a point of getting all the magazines. Just some of them are really good, like the Sneak magazine, the Massachusetts Surgical Journal magazine. If you get all 10 of those, you get 20% of your limb damage. The Tesla, whatever the energy weapon, when that's good if you're using energy weapons. So several of them are really good. Some of them are literally just kind of flavor things, like the tattoo magazine, the haircut magazine. But even those are fun. So I decided I would start working in a few magazines. So my last time I played my roundtable character, I just sent out all over the Commonwealth Guide magazines. I think I had about 5 of them just normally, because a lot of the places you go, like USAF Olivia Station or the railroad quest, the donut shop that you go do with Deacon. You pick up some magazines there. So I almost always get 4 or 5 in Sneak magazines. But then to grab all of them, you have to go to a lot of places. You have to go to Libertalia. You have to go. I forget the different places you had to go. I mean, they're all kind of moderately well-known places, but a couple of them are less obvious than others. So I of course use the wiki. I would never be able to find them on my own. So I went ahead and grabbed that. So I haven't been able to play enough to really test the power of my newly enhanced Sneak. But I do have all 10 of the Sneak magazines. And so what I did was I actually made a list of probably maybe 20 or so other magazines I want to grab. Like some of the Wasteland Survival guides are pretty good. Like the one from Sunshine Tidings that gives you double meat from kills in survival. That's really, really helpful to double your productivity of your animal kills. So I was doing that in and of course all this stuff is good too because it helps me level up. It helps me build up my perk trees because I'm at that higher kind of 40s, 50s level where it takes a lot of questing to get your next level because you need so many XP. So that's what I'm doing with Elsa. She's on the Xbox, of course, so I'm not playing with a ton of mods on her, just Tales, a couple survival options mods, the one that lets you do it, get a quick save in survival, and also the survival cheater mod, which I'm actually I haven't used it for any cheating purposes, although, well, I take that back. one way the survival cheating mod is useful. You guys know that every now and then in a Fallout or for that matter in a Skyrim game, you will sometimes get yourself stuck. You'll fall into you'll be climbing and you'll fall into into a space that's kind of tight and you're by a car or by some piece of junk or some piece of broken scenery and you can't get yourself out. You literally get stuck there. And in non-survival, one way to do it is if you're outdoors, you can fast travel. And you can, of course, I've got fast travel enabled in survival, but I got stuck. I forget the location, but I got stuck somewhere where I was indoors. And of course, you couldn't fast travel out of that. Well, the survival cheater mod has an option to just teleport your character instantly to any named location on the map. So it's a little different from fast travel because it's an instant teleport. So you don't get hungry, you don't get thirsty or anything else. So I use that to get myself out of a situation where I was stuck and I didn't want to replay. That's the one. That's really the only downside for me to survival. I really enjoy the mechanic of that stressful having to find a place to sleep and having to really be careful. I enjoy that, but when we're kind of timed down like we are on the roundtable, it's hard to play that way because with the roundtable you got to get through a certain number of quests. So that's why I've got the fast travel enabled. I've got quick save enabled. Otherwise, I'm trying to play as much of a straight survival game as possible. This is going on. Oh well, maybe Andrew will just throw this at the end. So you guys you'll have to listen to it live on the recording. Maybe just real quick, the other thing I've been doing is on my PC that I bought recently. I talked about on the show a couple of times. Been playing around with a lot of different mods. I did a mod that I haven't gotten too far with. Where I was just trying to do some look beautification mods, adding some better scenery. Now the problem is some of those are not going so well. They're giving me some frame rate issues and some bugs. I don't have a mod list in front of me or anything, of course, but the one thing I may need to do is I've got the high res texture pack from Bethesda enabled, and it could be that these mods that are giving me trouble maybe don't play well with that high res texture pack. So not sure exactly what's going on there. I don't have a lot of experience with mod debugging. I've got some other little weird issues, like one of the clothing mods is making my Diamond City guards walk around in their underwear. They still got their armor, but they've got their underwear on. So the mod is changing their base configuration, so they've got different attire. Like some of the Diamond City guards are in a baseball uniform, some are in other kinds of uniforms, and for some reason, one of the mods has decided to conflict, and so some of them are walking around in their underwear. Which is something that happens for me in vanilla fairly often with Cricket's guards. So for some reason, Cricket, the traveling merchant, her guards like to show up in their underwear all of a sudden. Not every time, but frequently. That's a frequent glitch I have. There's no other. It's hard to even call it a bug because it doesn't cause any problems other than it's just goofy. So I was trying to fix the Diamond City underwear bug by turning on and off some mods, and in the course of that, started running into some other mod conflicts and frame rates and everything. So that was a heavily modded playthrough that I was doing just to try a bunch of different mods. Then I started up another one where I wanted to actually consciously really play very differently and go with a high charisma build and do a very, very highly companion reliant build. Andrew, it's a little bit about where we're taking the rally character, but this is me on my own rather than through the rally. But I was having a lot of glitches with that, and something about Another Life, the alternate start mod, glitched my sanctuary settlement, and I was able to do some console commands and some other stuff to make the settlement workbench work, but it's not counting the settlement as a settlement. It won't let me build there. So I'm not sure what's going on with that. And that playthrough is not very far along. I will probably abandon it and maybe actually restart it with a shorter mod list and try to play that again, because I was actually having fun. I was picking up the inspirational perk and a couple other things that I don't normally do in the charisma tree. Trying to pick up a couple things like in the intelligence chart. What's the one? I was going to go for nerd rage and some other things like that I have never played with very much. So I was going to do a charisma intelligence build, but I think I'm going to start that one over. So that's what I've been going on. So like I said, my roundtable character, a mod face character that I've been doing with a lot of mods, and then also a charisma intelligence build. And those last two on the PC, I think Madi is I think I kind of crapped him out. I got him up to about level 50 or 45 or so, and he's starting to really have a lot of mod conflicts. So I think I may bail on him. Whereas the charisma intelligence build, I probably am going to start that one over and maybe do it with a smaller number of mods. Or what I may do is turn off the high res texture pack and see if some of the mods will cooperate better with that turned off. So anyway, this has been long enough. Wanted to again say I feel like it's been ages since we've had the core podcast crew together. We've kind of been various, whether it's work schedules or travel or family obligations for all of us. It feels like ages since we had the crew back together. But Andrew, Dennis, hope you guys are able to record. I think Ray was going to join tonight. So Ray, thanks for joining. It's been a great podcasting with you, on and off over the past few weeks. Whatever you guys wanted to do tonight, enjoy the show, enjoy the recording. I hope to catch up with you soon. Take care, guys.
All right, that's awesome. Thank you so much, Pat, for calling in. We always like hearing from Pat, seeing what's going on in his neck of the woods. Hopefully he can join in next week and when we go over some quests for what was that thing? Nuka World? No, we're doing Tales. We're doing Tales quests. We did the Nuka World quest last time. Check in the last episode where we did. What did we do? We did the It wasn't the Gauntlet. We did the Raiders. How you dealt with the Raiders, either with them or against them.
So I think we actually picked.
What's that?
We went all aboard and ambitious plan.
Yeah. So you guys were all like buddies with the Raiders, right? And
I am, yeah.
I went around and I killed them all because fuck those guys. Dennis, what were you doing to work up your character? We didn't even get much of a character introduction from you, did we? Because of all your stuff. Did you even tell us what your specials were and all that? I don't remember.
Yeah, it's been various iterations of trying to start the character blows up, start the character again,
Power goes out.
and then we rage and send angry emails to across the pond to say, why are we getting the same unarmed skill? I don't want to use unarmed in a Bethesda game. If this doesn't work, why do I have to? Why is everyone using it?
Marcus has nothing to do with this. Quit blaming him.
Oh, just stand up for Marcus. Why don't you, Andrew?
He's my favorite. So did you have any like interesting out of the ordinary stuff happen through the gauntlet and all that? Have you done all the gauntlet stuff? Are you like caught up quest wise all the way?
Yeah, I'm pretty close. I have to say the first Tales quest, of course I can't remember the name of it, but the very first Tales quest was just amazing. You know, especially with having to have I have the enhanced super mutants and the enhanced raiders and what have you. Walking through the Commonwealth, it's no joke. Walking through the Commonwealth with all the enhanced, everyone's going to kill you with the super duper weapon mod. It's no joke. You're really running for your life. So it was a lot of fun, and I have caught up, and it's been a lot of fun.
Well, that's super awesome. I don't even know. Do you have the one that's not only are they enhanced, but they have extra spawn points too? You're doing that one as well.
Yeah, there's I have one where if you go to sleep, there's a chance where you will have spawns that will pop up and attack you. So you can. I've been in Diamond City and I've gone to sleep in with the Baroff brothers and their little inn.
Yeah,
and they're called cannibals or whatever. They will spawn in and they will kill everybody inside the entire location.
You woke up in a bathtub of ice with your kidneys missing. I mean, who knew?
Pretty much, yeah.
Oh, God, that's crazy. Okay, Ray, is there anything you would like to say before we hop into your feedback? Do you have anything you'd like to take back or apologize for before we get into
it? No, probably the only thing to apologize for is being too confident and not quick saving in the video that I made of Maximilian's walk through the gauntlet. I got a little cocky and got taken out by the legendary Mirelurk.
Oh, it took me many attempts. And like I had to turn on my saves because it got so frustrating. I got tired of doing the like first 4 rooms, and kept dying at like the Mirelurks. And then I would die in the gas room a few times. And then, it's just like, fuck, I don't want to keep going through the stupid, machine gun turrets every time or,
Well, I'm pretty sure we should bow down to Ray because isn't he the Dead is Dead champion?
No, it was Andrew. He had the most levels.
I cheated though, so I rubber matted like 16.
I think I may have killed the most things, but
got the most experience points in the field, I would say. Which was
no, everybody infight. We need to infight right now. Come on.
Well, Ray, of course, thank you again for hopping on the show and your always dedicated participation in the project of the Roundtable. It's always a cherished event interacting with you. So let's go ahead and check in with your feedback, sir.
Ray here with my roundtable character for season 3. My roundtable role, I got a male, which evidently is fairly rare at this point. He's got a strength of 7, perception 2, endurance 9, charisma 3, intelligence 3, agility 2, and luck 2 coming out the gate. And I took the strength perk in the special book, making that 8 so that he could get Basher out the gate. So his perks assignments are Basher, Locksmith, Life Giver, Lady Killer, Vans, Mr. Sandman, and Fortune Finder. Codsworth is the assigned follower, which gives you this robot sympathy perk. That's plus 10 damage resistance to robot energy weapons. His assigned settlement is Tappington Boathouse. Commonwealth faction is Acadia. And his Raider faction is the Pack. Maximilian is a Raider. I've never played with the Basher perk. I'm with Pat. It's not generally that effective. That said, I did kill a couple of Raiders with it and bashed the Deathclaw in Concord with the minigun. Of course, after shooting him repeatedly first. At higher ranks, it does stagger enemies, which could be helpful, but it uses the same key as the grenades. So more than once, I've dropped a frag grenade or a Molotov when I was trying to bash somebody. Fortunately, with a endurance of 11 at this point with gear and perks, not a big deal. So I planned out my perks through level 50 based on a raidery, guns ablazing, head smashing kind of build, using all the assigned perks eventually. With low agility, I don't have a lot of AP, but I rarely use VATs with guns. I have a better chance using iron sights. I'm not running a lot of mods at this point. Unofficial patch, Boston Radio, Black LED Pip-Boy, and Tells the Commonwealth. So the perks I added for the build were Gunslinger, Rifleman, Big Leagues, Rooted, Bloody Mess, Armorer, Cap Collector, and Local Leader. He needed to add 2 perception for Locksmith, so 1 agility point or 1 perception point and the perception bobblehead. 2 agility for Sandman, so 1 agility point plus the agility bobblehead. He needed +1 for Rooted, +2 charisma, so he did do the Cabot quest, and of course sided with Lorenzo. Entering Nuka World, he was level 30 and had gone up 1 level during the gauntlet. I did post a video in the Facebook group of my trip through the gauntlet. Maximilian's been a Raider all his life. He was born just outside of Lowell in 2260. His father was the head of the most powerful Raider gang in the area. His 2 older brothers were next in line. So with little hope of leading the family himself, he knew his fortunes lied elsewhere. He left the family in search of new opportunities. When he headed south, he came across a working vault and went in to loot it. It seemed to be working, but the people in the pods were all dead, although one of the pods was open and the person inside was shot. He looted what he could and left. So I have a saved game, 1 female and 1 male that I use to create new characters. It's just before you get to the elevator to leave the vault. So at that point, you can go in and change all your attributes and appearance. And so since originally the alternate start mod only did a synth start, I didn't really want that limitation. So that's what I use is this game save that I can go in. And so you don't go through the the opening sequence, so you're not tied down to that playthrough. So after leaving the vault, having looted all the corpses, he entered Sanctuary, where he came across a Mr. Handy that mistaked him for somebody else. Running with it, his story unfolds from there. After going to Concord and cleaning out Grizzle's whole crew with nothing more than a baseball bat. Okay, later some power armor and a minigun, but and a little help from a man in a trench coat. He thinks this area may be a good place to start building his own power base. He sets the ragtag group from the museum up in the settlement where he found the robot. This Minuteman, Preston, doesn't really get it. He tries to send Maximilian to help some settlers, but Max has his own agenda. He travels around looking to eliminate any competition and sets up his own settlements with people loyal to him. His main base of operation is at Taffington Boathouse. Plenty of resources and a central location. After scrounging all the concrete he could find, he built a wall to rival his close neighbors at Covenant. It's just in his nature. He's very competitive. He's been traveling around the area, taking out as many raider groups as possible and setting up his own strongholds. He's got 11 so far. Also, he did a couple of favors for the traders at Bunker Hill. So now he has preferential treatment for all the trading activity in the area. Again, trying to rival Covenant. While searching around up north, he came across a man that offered to give him a boat if he would go search for his daughter. Working in the Far Harbor area, it became clear that there were not enough resources in the area to worry about. Fortunately, the serum he had received, killing all the raiders and family for Lorenzo Cabot, helped keep him healthy in that rat-infested place. Finally helping Crazy Robot Man, he keeps the peace by replacing the fanatic leader of the Rad people. At least he has a boat and a really chill beach house now. While dropping into the third rail in Good Neighbor, Maximilian bumped into a really interesting ghoul chick named Audrey. She gave him some grief about what he was wearing. It was then that he realized they were wearing the same gray suit. His was clean. Hers looked like she'd been wearing it for 200 years. She told him she was having some trouble with a man and needed a little muscle. Max offered to help. Expecting a fight, Max blasted into the subway station, only to find somebody had beat them to it. Scavenging around, they found her brother Barnaby, and she knew then that it was her sister's work. Clues led to her sister in a bar across the street from some place called the Combat Zone. Max is going to have to come back here and check that out. The raiders outside are dead now. Inside, the sister tries to disguise herself, but Audrey sees right through it. The three of them are off to the family summer house. After going through some challenges their father put in place, they finally opened the safe and found a vial of the mysterious serum that the Cabots make. A couple of comments from the sister lead him to believe they knew the Cabots. Max doesn't say anything. He still doesn't trust Margaret. His senses were correct, and Margaret makes a play to escape. Maximilian is ready and plants Adam's judgment squarely on top of her head before she was halfway up the stairs. The two assaultrons couldn't stop him. They were next, as Audrey took a couple of pot shots at them. Fortunately, the legendary assaultron in Margaret's room had not activated. Killing it, he got a 2-shot hunting rifle. Audrey was not all that concerned and gave Max the fox hunting perk. Plus 10 AP, a big help. Plus 10 auto weapons, no help. He leaves Audrey there. She was fun to run with, but not really cut from the same cloth. After working on his settlement near Diamond City, they're attacked by Rust Devils. In the process of taking out their sentry bot, he's sucked into a street fight outside of Hangman's Alley. Loving nothing more than a good fight and taking the side of the hot chick in armor, Max meets Sadie, the bouncer from the hooker bar across the street. She mentions they're getting hassled by a gang that calls themselves the Saints. He wonders if they're the same gang he roughed up in Carlisle on his way out of Lowell. After talking to the nut running the brothel, he agrees to help out. He and Sadie head up to hit a church she thinks they are holed up in. This stinks of a trap, and Max is ready when the knuckleheads pop out and try to get the drop on him. Back at the bar, he's stopped by the head of the Saints. Max sees an opportunity to set a trap of his own and agrees to bring one of the girls back to their hideout. Talking to Q-Ball, Max offers to take them out. Q-Ball agrees, but doesn't want to know the details. He says, "I'll leave the butchering to the butcher." They never knew what hit them. Max wiped out the whole crew and went back to Q-Ball for a reward, 300 caps. Oh, well. He was stopped by the girl that was the sister Jane, the Saints had wanted returned. She gave him some crap, but Maximilian couldn't care less. Off to check on the Sunshine Hippie Colony settlement, Max gets a message on his Pip-Boy thingy talking about Nuka World. He remembers his dad and brother talking about some friends that had talked about a theme park some gangs had been trying to set up shop in. Sounds like it's close by. He needs to check that out. So there's Maximilian. He is currently with clothing and perks at a strength of 16, perception 5, endurance 11, charisma 6, intelligence 4, agility 6, and luck of 3. And has gotten all of his assigned perks with the exception of Vans, which he'll be getting in a couple of levels. We'll see what that has to do. But
Vans is shit. Just admit it.
Weapons of choice are Adam's Judgment, Deliverer, a kneecapping combat shotgun, freezing powerful sniper rifle, combat rifle, and a 50 cal hunting rifle. And that he's got that 2-shot perk from that he got from looting the legendary Assaultron, and his serrated Chinese officer sword. So all in all, he's set up to do some serious damage, and is off to see what trouble he can find in Nuka World. All right. Thanks for listening. Bye-bye.
Awesome, Ray.
Ray, Vans is shit. Just admit it. It's okay.
It's an assigned perk.
It's
making lemonade. Making lemonade out of lemons. I'm waiting until level 35 because at level 36.
You can wait to level 99. It's still a shit perk.
Yeah, but I'm ticking the box. I'm ticking the box.
Okay, so let's get into that. You're gonna wait a certain amount of time before you cash in your Vans. Why specifically? It's because I think the second level of Vans gives you what, +2 perception or something, correct?
Right. So at 36, I can get +2 perception. I have to take the first perk first, so I'll take that at 35, and then I'll take the second at 36. And so at least I've taken Vans. I don't get lost when I'm running around the Commonwealth. So
with Mila's and running inside to go up top to go outside, and how confusing those stupid map markers can be sometimes.
Yeah, it's always at the top of the building.
Yeah, that's
so
true.
You just keep going up.
Yeah. Sometimes you're smarter than me, Ray. Well, actually, you're always smarter than me, Ray. But sometimes.
Ray's smarter than all of us, but Vans is still a shit.
I don't even know what I'm trying to say. Ray, you win. I quit.
It's still a crap perk. I agree. But it's the round table.
It's a very pat way of assigning things, but it's a shit perk.
Yeah. Come on. But I'm making lemonade.
And he also got fucking Basher. Are you kidding? Vans and Basher?
Yeah.
Are you? Ugh. I would quit. If I were you.
It's kind of fun because I'm just you're getting all into it, and I'm going to use Basher, and then bam, you drop a frag grenade at your feet.
I'd be like, I'm gonna accidentally refresh my roll again here, guys.
Yeah, no, exactly. All of us are be like, like you have to take Basher and you have to take Unarmed and
Oh no.
I was just glad I got a guy.
And it's like, you know what? There's this great game. Maybe it's called Skyrim. Maybe I should start playing that.
Dennis is all of a sudden a newfound love for Skyrim again today because he heard the music. Did you see that, Ray? He heard some notes, and all of a sudden Dennis has a new flourishing Skyrim blooming and blossoming all over.
But you know what? I love the Skyrim music, but if you hear the Dan Bull music for the round table for Fallout 4, that gets you right back into Fallout.
Yes.
Yeah, so so I'm a character addict. I just love creating characters and stories and everything. And so, when Andrew made me play Skyrim,
when Andrew made you do it.
Yeah. I
like that because I was listening to a Fallout feed and Victor's like, well, Andrew was making me play Fallout. Andrew makes everybody do so many things. He's the master manipulator.
He's so powerful. It's the illusion magic. I'm sure he uses it.
Yeah. Level up, Andrew.
Yeah, we've got podcasts to produce over here, guys. I've got to force you guys to give us material somehow. We still got to pump these things out. We still got to be making the big bucks up top.
So when I'm rolling, crazy rolls on the round table, I just run with it. Just trying to make lemonade.
I love that Victor was bringing that up to me the other day too. How you use Basher and you like literally just pull a pin out of a grenade and set it at your feet.
It does. It's hilarious. But when you've got endurance of 11, it kills whoever's next to you that you were just about to bash, and takes a third of your health.
Only a third. That's great.
Wait a minute. Where's the role playing in that?
I'm a raider. I'm a badass.
He's drunk.
I can take a little frag grenade.
He's a self-hating raider. Trying to accidentally take himself out too. No, he's let's see. He's trying to accidentally take some shrapnel because the person around him will die, so it'll look like someone else did it, but it's trying to take a little shrapnel to get an honorary dismissal from his raider group.
Yeah. Do raiders have purple hearts?
The raider purple. What color would the raider purple heart actually be?
I don't know. The teddy bears are purple.
Oh yeah. What teddy bear is that? Is that like the Nuka World teddy bears that are crazy and creepy?
Yeah.
They have sloths that are really cute though. I really like the sloths. I want to collect a full armor. What's it called? It's not called stuffed armor, is it? The pack armor with the little sloths hanging off of it.
Oh, I don't know. I haven't gotten that far.
Oh man.
I've still only done the two assigned quests so far, so.
Well, you get to go meet the pack, and they've got some cute little some sloths hanging on armor. It's adorable. I love them.
They are my people now.
Yes. Embrace the pack. Except for their rifle, it's gross. Okay, so yes, we got to keep going with this audio feedback. So we just heard from Ray. Thank you, Ray, so much. We'll go ahead and check in with a Jeremy second submission. So let me pull up Jeremy's and actually, Dennis, did you have anything about Ray's feedback? I wanted to say, what was your Raiders versus Covenant thing too?
So Covenant's right around the corner, or just like right across the street from Taffington Boathouse.
Yeah.
So I built the concrete wall around Taffington, and it looks like the Covenant
settlement. Okay.
Yeah. And then I've got the turrets and all that good stuff. So we're in we're in competition.
Oh,
And then I hooked up with who's the woman from Bunker Hill? Zeller.
that sounds fun.
And did her quest, and so I've got the traders post with the little tent and the Brahmin trough.
Oh, I've
So
never
they-
actually done that.
they
At
all show
Bunker
up
Hill, do they reward you with your own little shop there at Bunker Hill? Do you get your
No, you can. It lets you build the trading post essentially.
Oh, nice.
So all the traders will stop by your trading post.
Oh, that's cool. That's fun.
Yeah, I'm not building anything. I installed the Sim Settlement mod because that really should, in all honesty, that should be what Bethesda should have done as far as the settlements building themselves. But I can't even be bothered to do that.
Yeah.
I still have to go back and like do check-ins and build a little portion here and there. I just can't do it. Just do it on your own.
Did I fill you guys in? I don't think I did. Did I tell you guys about my brand new? It's probably not new. It's just that I noticed it recently. My new bug. I have
You've
the
got
the
so
red
many,
triangle.
Andrew. You've got like 6,000 bugs, Andrew. You got more bugs than game.
I've got the worst stuff going on. No, Ray, not the red triangle. That was probably, I'm guessing, the origin where things started getting fucked up was when those red triangles started happening over the Abernathy Farm people markers. But the bug I'm having now is I thought it was just at the Nuka World Red Rocket because I killed all the raiders, and one of the perks, they don't tell you this. I don't know why this was so like unknown, but in order to get the access to the Red Rocket at Nuka World, you usually have to go and get power and do this whole do all the tons of quests and then restore power to the park, and then you can have access to the Nuka World Red Rocket. Or you can just fucking kill all the raiders and then you get it immediately. So you don't have to go through the whole rigmarole of getting everything, and you just go over and get the Red Rocket. So I did my Red Rocket and I got everything, and I was like, oh great, I'm going to set up some stuff here. So let's build a few walls. Let's build a little structure here. Set some turrets up high to get a better vantage point. And I could build most of the stuff just fine. But I went to the structure. I went to look for the structures sub tab in the build menu. No structures tab. Wait a second here. I've got special, and then it goes right to furniture. But there should be structures in here usually. There's no structures. Okay, that's weird. So I was kind of looking it up, and I didn't see any mention of that bug in particular located at the Red Rocket for Nuka World. So I thought, okay, that's weird. Whatever, never mind. So I just played a few more days and did those stuff. So I went to do another inventory dump back at the Red Rocket in the Commonwealth on the mainland there, and I was like, wait a second, there's no structures in this build menu either. Fuck. So I don't know, that weird bug I had, either I just hadn't noticed. It's been such a long time since I tried to build stuff. That it's horrible, Dennis. They won't even let me build structures anymore, which you probably wouldn't care. You don't even build anything.
I would definitely suggest that you listen to ASA Mod Talk to try and figure out what it is you're doing wrong, Andrew, because you're just building wrong.
Actually, I think Victor told me that this might be caused by something that just happens every once in a while in the vanilla base game. There's just some weird little bug in there that sometimes gets tripped. So maddening. But yes, Dennis, thank you for bringing up Mod Talk. Everyone, please, if you haven't yet, please go check out Victor's new show, ASA Mod Talk. You can find it in your iTunes or Stitcher, or I don't know, just what do people use for your podcatchers? Speaking of podcatchers, we're going to check in with some podcatcher reviews later with our newest segment, Denny's Podcatcher Review Corner. So we'll look forward to that. But before we get into that sort of thing, we better get back on our audio feedback. No, God, right? I still had more notes I wanted to bring up with you. Audrey's had the same clothes. You're like, it's like two chicks showing up to the dance.
That was the gray suit.
Who's gonna change? All right, who is it? We can't both go in here wearing the same thing. And I have a question for you guys. My character is named Susan, who is the host of a radio show that is broadcast out of Vault 97, and she has a companion. His name is Mr. Wigglesworth, and she described Mr. Wigglesworth as sort of like a big clunky doddering robot with a robo brain for a head. Besides the 3 robo brains that are acquired in the Automatron quest, where you have to get like the MSAT locator and go, try locate the different spots from Ada. You know what I'm talking about? When you have to go get those robo brains.
I have no idea what you're talking about. This is like a King of the Bunker Hill level question.
Are there robo brain heads besides those 3 anywhere? Because I keep doing that random quest where the God, what's that person called? The Automatron bad guy. When that chick keeps sending you out on that Radiant quest to go kill random robots, hoping that one of them will eventually be a robo brain and I can collect more robo brains. But I can't find any. Is there a place where they have just a big storage of all the different robot parts? So, gosh, do you guys?
Yeah, I mean, there's a million of them inside the layer, but you can't access any of them.
I know. That is the most maddening thing. There's literally jars and jars and jars of them. Or there's the working ones. They're working the computers too.
Yeah.
They'll let you shoot them. They'll let you destroy them, but they won't let you interact with them other than that. And there's all the ones like on the weird medical stretchers, the beds that are like in the middle of those are really weird and cool to have the little brains. That's a really neat design. I like the brain in the jar. Back on that cool, sci-fi stuff I was talking about earlier. I love that shit. Okay, so what else? Robo part location and vans. Yep. No. Okay. Thank you for your feedback, Ray. We will continue on with Jeremy. So thank you, Jeremy, for checking in. And here we go.
Hey guys, this is Jeremy McDaniel here, bringing a character update with my character Michelle Briggs for the Season 3 Roundtable. Last I checked in, I was just building up my level and just introducing the character, and she was hanging out in Sanctuary with Preston Garvey. And Michelle took to the task of protecting the Commonwealth with a renewed sense of purpose. Through heroic acts, Michelle recruited a number of settlements to join the cause, and the drab group of Minutemen Michelle had first met was now turning into quite the actionable coalition. Preston, seeing the growth of their numbers, suggested to Michelle that they move to take the castle, the Minutemen's old HQ before Quincy, to which Michelle knew it was too soon. Not wanting to bite off more than they could chew, Michelle chose to delay the affront in favor of shoring up their recent expansion. Through her journeys of rebuilding the settlements, Michelle couldn't help but wonder about the green jewel Diamond City she kept hearing about. With the settlers finally organized and ready to fend for themselves, Michelle finally decided to give in to her curiosity and head toward the city and see what had come of downtown Boston. Closing in on Diamond City, Michelle was passing by Hangman's Alley when a flurry of shots and shouting presented itself on a nearby street corner. Codsworth and Dogmeat sprang into action, and 3 bodies lay scattered on the ground before Michelle could even draw her weapon. Michelle had no clue what had just went down, but the situation was made clear by the lone survivor of the scuffle, a woman named Sadie. She was the bouncer of the Boston Bordello. Sadie requested Michelle's assistance and takes her into the Bordello to meet her boss, Q-Ball. Before going up to Q-Ball, Michelle had a drink and met some of the characters in the bar. There's the Molly, the nutty but friendly bartender, Scalpel, a gruff bouncer, and then there was Lola. Lola approached Michelle and asked if there's anything she could do for her. Not having felt the romantic touch of a human in literally hundreds of years, Michelle succumbed to Lola's beckoning. Michelle had never been with a woman before, but Lola's soft touch and Michelle's own confusion and loneliness made the offer too tempting to decline. They spent a brief few hours together, leaving Michelle with a feeling of a lover's embrace. Feeling more at ease, Michelle headed upstairs to meet the boss cue ball. He was a nice man who, like Michelle, enjoyed fine libations, but he showed weak leadership and apathetic character. Sadie asked for him to allow Michelle to investigate the meetup that the Saints were having at a nearby church. Cue ball, not seeming to care either way, permitted Michelle to help. Michelle and Sadie traveled to the nearby church where the Saints were meeting, and 2 Molotov cocktails burnt the congregation to a crisp. And as soon as the fight began, it ended. Like a smoldering offering, the bodies laid before the altar, and Michelle and Sadie went on their way. Upon returning to the bordello, Michelle was stopped by the patron saint, a mole working within the bordello toward a peaceful solution. He gave Michelle a note that she was to take to cue ball, requesting for the release of Jane, a bordello worker who happened to be the saint's leader's sister. Michelle thought with relief, good thing I didn't spend that evening with her. Michelle felt for Jane and easily persuaded cue ball to peacefully release her. Michelle escorted Jane back to the Saints, who thankfully suggested that their paths would cross again someday. Michelle could rest easy knowing that she had settled things peacefully, and she had helped an innocent woman from being trafficked. She had also awakened a new sensation she had never felt before, the longing for a woman's touch. Relieved and also confused, Michelle continued on and approached the gates of nearby Diamond City. So that's me. Let's see where the time is at. Okay. Took a while, longer than I wanted, so I'm gonna have to breeze through the rest of this. I'm trying out role playing from my first time and doing that kind of prose style that a lot of people I think do, and I really do like it. It does help you kind of frame your character and think about the decisions you make and why you made them. So I decided to write in that sort of fantasy romantic fiction novel of my attempt of it, of Michelle and Lola, one of the bordello workers. I actually did in the mod. I was in the mod and I was doing the quest, and I was talking to all the people at the bordello and figured, let's check out what Mr. Takahashi put in here. This worker is offering her services, so I gave it a whirl. It just gave me a black screen and gave me a lover's embrace, which I don't know what that does, but I figured I'd give it a whirl. Usually wouldn't do that in my playthroughs, but decided to RP it into it. So I did go into Diamond City then next and met Piper, helped her get into the city. I like Piper. She writes that newspaper, The Public Occurrences, and wants to write about Michelle and truth-seeking, and I'm a little skeptical about her conspiracy theories and the Institute, but everyone seems to be, and she's feisty, she has an attitude. The only downside is she's kind of crummy in battle. Her around and developing that relationship, and now Michelle has this new feeling towards women, so she's chasing that relationship. I went into the quest with Under the Bridge. Well, in between, I guess I did some main quests, Nick Valentine and tracking down Kellogg. And actually, when I was tracking down Kellogg, I had one of those moments where this is why I love Bethesda. So Dogmeat's tracking me west of the city. I'm kind of near Oberlin Station, and a Yao Guai attacks me and kind of pins me down and has me almost where I'm about to die. My character can't move. I'm kind of struggling to even move the character away so she's not trapped. And I stay calm, use my stim packs, get out of there, start sprinting. And then right when I sprint, I run into a glowing one. And right behind him are about 5 ghouls, one of them legendary. And so I'm like, holy shit, first the bear, now these ghouls. And then I remember thinking quick on my feet to use my flare gun. I actually have never used it before, and it was awesome. I pulled it out, I shot it straight into the ground, and then I was like, oh shit, I should probably shoot it in the air. So I shoot it in the air, and the Minutemen came running toward me really quickly, and I'm just running around like a chicken with my head cut off. I got these ghouls, this glowing one, this bear, shots are being fired everywhere. I see the Minutemen charging in, and then even on, just throw another one on top of it. Here come 3 blood bugs, stinted blood bugs, and they're, getting gooey rads in my face, and I can't see. And I don't know. It's just one of those moments where you just have one of those just straight chaos, like things are spawning everywhere, and it's just epic. And that's the stuff that, that's the stuff that sold me on Skyrim when you're battling a dragon and trolls and or stormcloaks or something. It's just those crazy battles are awesome. So I had one of those, which just made me feel, just brought me back. So I want to keep this under 10 minutes. I promised myself a whatever minute left, or maybe 2. So one last thing, or a couple last things. One thing, it was my first time in Good Neighbor during that quest with Audrey and Under the Bridge, and leaving the Third Rail Bar. The Third Rail Bar is actually the State House, which is where they read off the balcony the Declaration of Independence, and it's where the Boston Massacre happened. And so when you're leaving the Third Rail, or when I was leaving Third Rail with Audrey, I saw Hancock up there, and he's giving a big speech to the people about the Institute, and it was just so cool to, I immediately made that connection, like, oh, well, that's where they read the speech for the of independence from England, that State House. And and then I go walking down the street further, and I come upon Trinity Tower, and I look up, and I'm like, oh shit, Trinity Tower, that's the Prudential Center. And shortly nearby is the public library, and it's like, oh, well, here's Copley Square, it looks just like it, more or less. So those things I wanted to mention are awesome. On the way to the Summer State, I blew the shell off a Mirelurk with a missile launcher, which is sick. I just got to give it up to this game. I really love the battling. It's just the effects and animations, limbs blowing off, blood splattering. It's so awesome. It's so awesome. And then I also threw my first nuke grenade, and holy shit, those are powerful. I accidentally killed a bunch of my settlers while stopping a super mutant attack, so I had to reload the save and do that again. Quick stat updates. I have 15 seconds. I'm level 16 now. Didn't get to Nuka World, but I did the 2 Tales. Loved them. Loved Takashi's stuff. Nuka World, I'm going to go Nuka Ham when I get to a higher level, maybe in the mid-20s, and I'm just going to run through all that at once. I'm just going to have to do it to catch up. I'm over my time, I promised, and so I also added some perks to Demo Expert. I got my local leader. I got Locksmith 2, Sneak 2, Lead Belly 2, and I've been liking all my perks I've been assigned. I need to get into heavy weapons next. I was a little bummed. I found out heavy weapons isn't automatic weapons, but like heavy freaking weapons like miniguns and Fat Men, which I'm a little bummed because those weapons weigh so much, and it's just digging into my carry weight. All right, I've gone on long enough. Hopefully that was a good update. I'm really enjoying it. Guys, have fun in the Commonwealth. Talk to you later.
Wonderful. Thank you
Fantastic.
so much.
Well done.
Good update. Jeremy, number 2. Again, knocking it out of the park. Keep them coming, Jeremy. We always love hearing your update of your character. I love the working of the romance novel. Sounds like something Dennis would be interested in. Always getting sloppy with the love, Denny.
Embrace me.
What do you guys have any comments here for Jeremy?
I'm very excited. That feedback, it hits me right in the core where he's talking about fights and individual moments. That for me in Fallout 4 is a very shootery kind of game. If you go back to New Vegas, or if you go back to 3, it's a little bit more role play, a little bit more slow. It's not kind of quite fast action. But for Fallout 4, I think the intense moments and the best of it is, you get into an individual fight, you were in this moment, and, you had 6,000 people coming at you from all different directions, and you had to survive it. And for better or worse, that's what the game is. It may not be the role play experience that everybody wanted to have, but it's got some good action moments, which is kind of what they were moving towards.
And they can weave in a beautiful story in between.
Yeah, and it can be kind of intimidating when you start doing your feedback, and you're kind of trying to figure out, what your direction is and what your voice is. And he did a great job. He had a good plan. He just needs to keep practicing. It's really well done.
I agree as well. Jeremy said it's kind of like his first time going into role playing. I try to embrace writing a backstory and that sort of thing with my character sometimes. I am also not the world's best role player. I try to embrace it, but it does help push you in a different direction. Like the whole point of the round table is to take these weird attributes that you get and sort of weave it into a character, and then those extra creative people who are play along characters, and people like Victor and Ray, you're always really great at it too. Lee always does a really good job, and now Jeremy is like weaving in a wonderful backstory here too. So you check in with these people who write these great backstories that actually kind of try to match that weird nonsensical role that your character gets from our strange character generator. It's always great to see people and what kind of stories they form to support that role. That's great. A couple of notes I have down here. He mentioned Lover's Embrace. That's a great perk. I love that you get when you get a companion's affinity up to 100%. You sleep anywhere near them, and they will wake up next to you, and you earn, is it like 150% XP for a limited amount of time or something? I don't remember. It might not be 150%, but it's an extra percentage of experience points.
Well, you would never know the percentage for you, Andrew, because you have the group Lovers Embrace where you have like 6 or 7 embraced all over your body, and
the orgy embrace.
Exactly.
We have the body paint Lover's Embrace where we all get it, all stacks too, so that's like whatever percentage on top of Codsworth, on top of Preston, on top of Curie, on top of Strong, on top of Dogma. We're all just sharing. We all have the same, thirst for the milk of human kindness or whatnot.
Share the milk. Share the milk, Andrew.
He likes Piper. I also like Piper. I think Piper gets way too much crap. People need to take it easy on Piper. I actually like taking Piper out with me. I have her right now. She's out with me. I have her decked out in a set of X01 power armor that through the mod Unified Clothing overhaul. I have it in shiny gold.
Oh my god, cheat mods. Cheat mods.
It's not cheat. It's not cheat at all. The power armors, the vanilla power armor is just colored shiny gold. It's so beautiful, and I have Piper running around in it, and it's so funny. Oh, did you? And I don't know if this is caused by Unified Clothing overhaul. I didn't think you could ever remove any of Nick's clothing, but they let me replace his hat, not his jacket, but I could replace his hat this time. And I gave him the synth field helmet, which is like a full-faced synth helmet, and I also colored it in that gold color that I also did the power armor in. So Nick's running around with like a gold face robot. Oh, it looks really fun. Nick has a really cool look going on too now. So yeah, Jeremy, I like Piper too. He mentioned Kellogg and going through that whole portion of the main quest that I was actually just talking about with Ray earlier. And then I was trying to remember what Kellogg's relationship is. Is he a courser? No, he's not really a courser. He's a human with, we talked about this before. He's got like an implant, so he's like a cyborg or something. You know what I mean? Like he's not really a courser, but he can still use the zap around. What's that shit called? The relay. He's the relay.
He works with the institute. He's basically an institute, hireling.
Yeah, I watched that intro scene about his memories, how he got into the institute, and like he was like, I'm gonna work. He's talking to that lady. He's like, I'm gonna work for the Institute, and she's like, oh, we're not so sure about that. Get them, boys. And all of her Gen 1 synth guards like attack him, and he of course kills all 4 of them with like super stealth spy moves, and then he's like got a gun pointed at this poor like Institute scientist woman in a lab coat. He's like, yes, I will be working for you now. So like I thought it was pretty fun to revisit that whole Kellogg scenario through his memories. I hadn't done that in a long time. He fired a flare gun at his feet, which I thought was hilarious. It's like Ray dropping a grenade at his feet. I thought it was surprising that you could that the Minutemen showed up anyway. I thought you had to fire that shit in the sky, and then that they would return.
I think he fired one in the sky after he shot one on the ground.
Okay. I thought that was funny that if he just shot one at the ground and they showed up anyway. I have all sorts of weird bugs going on, guys. Every time I fast travel or show up to the Red Rocket, the Minutemen have just showed up as well, and they're always like, oh, we just missed the battle, sorry, was it fun? And I was just like, I'd have no idea what battle you guys are talking about. You know how they're like, oh, we just showed up, did we miss all the action? And I don't know what they're talking. It's really fun. And
because you're the general of the Minutemen, and the Minutemen are garbage, Andrew.
No, they're how dare you. And I have another crazy bug where Travis is with me, but he is.
That is a crazy bug because Travis should not be with you.
That's not the bug. Travis is a saint. Shut your mouth. But Travis,
is he a sinner, a saint, or a sinner? Oh.
Yeah, he's a wait, what's that last guy with the punny name? The I don't even remember. It's the last. Sorry, never mind. But Travis, he got his every like I don't want to say minute, maybe less than a minute.
Man.
He will take a shot from nothing. Like he doesn't actually get shot, but he like crumples to the floor, like he's been shot and something has like attacked him, and then he has to take a knee, or like how they fall down on their butt and fall out, but he would be taking a knee in Skyrim. How. And I'm just like, nothing hit you. What are you doing? So like every minute or so, he just drops to the floor and hangs out for like 5 or 10 seconds. And then he pops back up and starts attacking stuff again. And I hate it. He picked up the Zeta gun or whatever it's called that does like radiation damage. And the only things that we're attacking are monsters that are super resistant to radiation damage. And he doesn't have the knowledge to switch his weapon based on which enemy.
Because he's counting on you, Andrew. He's counting on your knowledge to take the gun from him and give you a better gun.
I know. I've tried to drop. It's like you can't interact with Travis, so but I've tried to drop like better guns at his feet, and he just kind of like looks at me, and then he will drop to his knee like someone has shot him. And I'm like, oh, what are you doing? Get up, man. Pick up the gun. Let's go. And he'll never pick up the better gun, that son of a bitch. So that's funny. The flare gun at the feet. That's awesome. The Declaration of Independence at the State House in Good Neighbor, where Hancock does the speech. I had never put that together. That's a fucking brilliant observation. So thank you, Jeremy. And the other locations, like he said, Trinity Tower was a well-known landmark. I'm not familiar with Boston. I've only been once a long ass time ago when I was a little kid. So, but that's amazing. I need to go. Is this nerdy? Is there a Fallout 4 tour of Boston? Has anyone set that up yet?
I think there should be, and it should be sponsored by Victor.
That would be amazing. Like, who lives in Boston?
Victor could quit whatever job he has, and he could do Mod Talk and do tours of Boston, and we would be all set.
Hey, nobody. Okay, everyone out there, stop listening right now. Put your fingers in your ears and go la 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 la. This is just for Mark. Okay, listen, Marcus. Okay, here's our app idea. We invent an app for Fallout 3 that is a Fallout tour of Washington, D.C. with all the great highlights and all the locations where you need to go that are highlighted in the Fallout 3 game. And we plant stuff.
Fallout 4.
No, DC for Fallout 3, dude. We can also do it for Boston and Fallout 4. But I was talking, we need to start with DC. Do one for Vegas. Do one for Boston. Dennis, you're supposed to be with your fingers in your ear saying la 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 la. Anyway, you can't hear this part. This is for Marcus.
No, I'm chanting Marcus work hard, Marcus work hard, Marcus work hard.
Okay, Marcus. Anyway, so you know what I'm getting at here. This is basically the idea. Let's create this app where it's just basically tours, interactive tours of Fallout 4, of like Boston and DC and then New Vegas, and you can make it like location interactive, like with like Pokemon Go, where like you have Mirelurks attack you when you show up to certain locations.
We know that you live in England, but that's okay. It's just across the pond. Get working, Marcus.
I don't know anybody else who could design an app. He's the only person I have hope that could do that sort of thing. You know what I mean? Marcus, thank you.
Thank you. God bless, Marcus.
God bless, Marcus. Yeah, heavy weapon sucks. I'm sorry that you got to sign that, Jeremy. I hate using miniguns. I hate using missile launchers. I don't like that sort of thing. You guys, do you use your Fat Men?
So the only time I ever use a Fat Man is when I first go to Far Harbor, and you're on the wall, doing the fight.
Oh, you use one there. I never thought to. That's brilliant.
It's like three nukes. You've taken them all out. Everybody's still alive. Love you to death.
You know what I was gonna? I thought you were gonna say, Ray, is the
wall,
the Deathclaw and Conquered.
Oh,
Dennis.
No, I've never needed it for that.
Or no, that's a minigun. Dennis would get he would go.
No, I would use my hook is to go around and use the Fat Man in.
Oh yeah, because you would swing by not the robotics dump or whatever it's called, a robotics disposal ground or whatever it's called. Yeah,
it's the dumping ground.
He went to take a robot dump. He picked up.
No, I admit Ray's a better player than I am. Thank you, Andrew.
It's hard.
Fucker.
It's hard to be better than Ray. I don't know if you could do competitive Fallout 4, but it'd be hard to beat Ray. It's a shame about Ray. I'm sure you've never heard that joke before, Ray. Okay, so we've got plenty of more feedback to get to. Sorry, the show is stretching long already, but we will hop into Leon checking in from Texas. So let me see if I got this pulled up at an appropriate volume, and we will see. Hi to Leon.
Good day, this is Leon from Texas. I'm playing Olivia. This is Roundtable Episode 2. Following Gage outside Cola Cars, Olivia was stunned to see what had become of the once great Nuka world. Heading to Fist Top, she passed a Nuka bottle robot that was obviously hacked when spoken to, and a strange lady wearing cappy glasses. The robot, Nira, said she would reward anyone who collected medallions from the other parks, and the glasses-wearing lady spoke of a pre-war contest involving finding hidden cappies throughout the park. Olivia nodded to both that she would look for the items that they wanted and quickly headed towards Fist Top. Once there, Gage took some time to explain his plan to retake the parks and told Olivia she should meet the heads of the three gangs. Olivia proceeded to glad hand the gang leaders and quickly realized that just like everyone else, the raiders couldn't do hardly anything for themselves and wanted her to do the dirty work. Sighing, she nodded and agreed to do the quest the gang's leaders wanted her to do. First impressions, Gage wanted to be behind the thrones kind of guy, getting the benefits but little risk. Nisha was a violent woman, but she wasn't stupid. Olivia could get to like her and Dixie. Mags was a Diamond City brat that went raider, but she was smart and sharp. Another person Olivia could get to like. Mason, though, he was a pretender. As soon as Olivia challenged him, he backed down. The pack might think they're wolves, but Olivia could tell they weren't. Overall, the disciples and the operators could be used for the plan she was developing. The pack, though, would be too unruly. All it would take would be for something happening to Mason, and they might turn and try to bite her. She would have to plan for that. Too bad, Mason. The pack's going to get shut out on running the other parks. Olivia decided she would split the remaining parks, 3 operators and 2 disciples, and shut the pack out. However, first she wanted to get on the gang's good side, so she headed back to the Commonwealth and proceeded to complete the task they set for her. Along the way, she noticed she was close to describe Halen on the edge of the glowing sea, and she swung by there to start the task of finding the nukes for Liberty Prime. After locating them and sending the signal to the Brotherhood, she headed back to the airport and witnessed Prime restarting. He was still without a power core, so he couldn't move. Ingram then told Olivia that Elder Maxon wanted to see her. When she went to see him, he confronted her, and after she convinced him she had no idea what he was up to, he informed her that Dance was a synth and told her to find and kill him. Olivia nodded and said she would, but quickly headed back to the Institute to get his recall code. She tried to get someone in the SRB to give her the code for M797, aka Dance, but no one there would talk to her about it, so eventually she gave up and headed to the bunker Halen had said Dance was probably hiding at. What a waste. Olivia was amused that Dance said that he was proud of her when she agreed to kill him. She realized synths were just like humans and could be just as stupid. Good riddance. Heading back to Maxon, she got a promotion to Paladin in Dance's old suit of armor. Whee! Another power armor suit. Oh well. Back to Nuka World. Returning, she spoke to each gang leader, who again informed her they needed her help on something else. Olivia sighed and just nodded and headed out. She decided to explore around Nuka World before clearing the parks. She started with the transit center and worked her way all around. She cleared out several interesting places like the Westchester House and the Junkyard and the Angry Anaconda roller coaster. There she fought a new creature later she learned called a Gator Claw and met a Tarzan wannabe dude named Cedo. She followed him into the safari land into his gorilla family. Yep, just like Tarzan. He helped her out with some info on the gators, so she told him to stay put and she would come back later and kill them all. Leaving Safari World, Olivia continued around the park till she came back to the transit center and went back inside. Deciding to head back to Safari World, Olivia quickly went under the pyramid Sito had said the wrinkly man came out of, and using a password she had found at the Anaconda site, she unlocked a security door and headed underneath. She proceeded to shut down a DNA cloning device that was creating the Gator Claws. She would have to send in an Institute team to recover this device later, and then proceeded to exterminate all the remaining Gator Claws afterwards. She then told the operators to take over, but to leave Cedo and the gorillas alone. It would be interesting to introduce the synth gorillas from the Institute to the park and observe to see if there was any interactions between the two or any fighting or anything. At the end of this, Olivia is level 53. She put 1 perk in Inspirational, 2 perks in Strength, and 4 perks in Strong Back. Trudging from the Westchester House to Fizztop, overweight, going super slow, convinced her to work out on her strong back until she could fast travel while encumbered. One change I'm doing with Olivia over previous playthroughs is that she is pretty much staying in her power armor constantly for all of Nuka World. It's different from how I've done it before. Some of the later stuff took a lot of Radaway and Radex, but with my leaded suit of power armor, some of the things I'm doing so far, it hasn't been as bad. Overall, though, one thing I do want to say is, why can I not get a recall code for Dance? They even say that his DNA matches a specific synth, M797. They say that number. So why did Bethesda not think about somebody wanting to go back to the Institute and trying to get that recall code? That would have been just, frankly, it's just something perfect that would have been great to do if you were playing an Institute playthrough and you didn't want to do Brotherhood of Steel. Anyways, thanks. Have a good one.
Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you so much, Leon, checking in from Texas. Guys, remind me, what does the recall code do for your Institute synth? Dance, if you have his recall code, M797, what does that let you do? Does that give you just like the shutdown power? Like if you say that, will he like do that thing where his body goes limp and then he goes into like command mode where you can tell him boss him around or something? How does that work?
Yeah, it just shuts them down. You can't control them after that.
Okay, it makes them go.
They have to go to be reprogrammed.
And Was it the coursers who fetched them back to the institute? Then in that case,
Yeah.
Okay. Right. Thoughts, guys? What do you have for Leon's feedback? Thank you, Leon, for checking in.
So I haven't really seen the gator claws yet.
Ooh, you're in for a treat. I accidentally ran into them too early. I think he did as well. But that's a fun little quest, Ray. Something fun to look forward to. Gator claws are
But
great.
so what I'm wondering is, so death claws are supposed to be mutated Jackson chameleons, right?
Yes, sir. Correct.
So
and you got the.
I used to have Jackson chameleons, and they'd sit on your finger.
Are they large?
No, they're little tiny things,
Okay.
maybe 4 or 5 inches long.
Including nose to tip of tail.
Yeah, they turn into these big, huge death claws.
Yeah.
But yet a gator, who can be,
14
hundreds of pounds and 14, 15 feet long, don't seem to be much taller than people.
Yeah, they look like the Rock, sort of beefed up, a beefed up person.
So how does that work?
Different mutations. They have different scientists working on them, right?
Okay.
The Deathclaw scientists were
clearly better at their job.
They weren't at the institute. Where were those motherfuckers? Where those guys? Where were they working? Who?
I think that was just the nuclear fallout.
Which stupid government made that? Oh, was it just the nuclear?
Yeah.
So why didn't all lizard species have some terrible monster? Why was the Jackson chameleon specifically well adapted to evolving through radiation exposure? You own one, Ray. Tell me, come on.
I mean, they eat crickets. Maybe it's the crickets.
Those fucking cave crickets, though, Ray. Have you run into them yet?
No.
Oh my fucking lord! I don't think they're worse than stingwings, but they give them a damn run for their money.
Ooh, yikes!
It's crazy. Okay, I'm gonna embarrass myself. What was the weird, horrible insect bad guy that sort of sounds like Pompadour from
Cazadors?
Cazadors. Okay. Yeah.
Pat is rolling over in his grave right now.
That's Halloween costume. We all need to go as Cazadors with Pompadours. That'd be a great cosplay for a group of people to go as.
Cazadors with the Pompadours, brought to you by the King.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great. Okay. Speaking of Pat, thank you for bringing him up. We've got some feedback that he read some emails from a couple of people who sent an email. So we'll get into all of those really quickly. But there were a couple of things I wanted to bring up too from Leon. Let's see, wanted 3 of the places to go to the operators and 2 to the disciples or whatever they're called. And he shut the pack out, which I don't agree with at all. If you're going to side with any of those weirdo raider groups, it's got to be the pack because you need access to the sweet.
Wait, I think you got that wrong. I'm pretty sure it's the operators that you want to side with.
No. You got to get the pack.
No, operators. No, pack. No, operators. Thank you.
Operators, mount up.
There you go.
It was a clear black light. So Cheeto or Cito, whatever that guy's name is, I accidentally ran into him as well and started his quest, but tried to run away and not spark the quest. And then it was like cha-chung and it started and I was like, fuck. So I hope it doesn't bug out while I'm off doing other things. That's the quest that Leon was just sort of describing, going in and discovering the source of the gator claws.
What are you doing, Andrew? You're that busy a guy? You're just wandering all over the wasteland. You're going here, you're going there. What are you doing? What is the Andrew man doing?
I'm avoiding doing the interior of the park because those are where all the assigned quests are. So I'm wandering around doing the exterior stuff. I ran past the hubologist camp. I haven't run into them and done all their stuff quite yet. I ran to the is it called the Grandchester Hotel? No. I don't even remember what it's called, the Mystery Mansion or whatever it's called. I ran over there. I think there's like a door I can't access, or maybe there's something else I need to progress because I feel like there's more to it that I'm not really getting out of it yet. I need to go revisit the mansion, see if I was just missing something obvious. I've been over to the power plant. I've been in and out of there a couple times. There's also an obvious block in there that I can't get to until I do further stuff in the main park.
Yeah, I've got to figure out what all the side quests are so I can do that stuff.
Yeah, they're fun. There's a couple of fun little stories out and about. Oh, there's that little town too.
Isn't there a shovel museum?
Oh, there's a shovel museum. I haven't explored that to its depths, I don't think. Hopefully there's more to it than I just kind of lightly brushed through it. But there's also Bradberton, or however it's said, that little town. Lots of ghouls and stuff. Hopefully there's some more to explore there as well. I need to go back and dig around. But Leon, I'm excited about the proposition of Institute gorillas and pack gorillas interacting. I never even thought about doing that. That's really cool. And I'm wondering, did you just think of that, or was that written into the script of the game? Like, did they?
When I went to visit the pack, there was a gorilla fighting a dog, and that seemed really odd to me. I didn't know if that was part of the mods I was using, but I thought it was basically a dog fighting ring. But maybe that's canon. But it was a gorilla fighting a dog. That doesn't seem right.
That was mine too.
I've never seen one actually fighting, but there's always one off in the cage, off in the side that I always open the cage and let it out, and it goes crazy.
You let him out because you're like, oh, come join me, come join my party. We've got 8,000 people here.
We need a monkey friend. Yeah, he doesn't join up. Ooh, but if I got, what's it called, guys? Wasteland Whisperer? No. Something like that, where I could tame him by pointing my gun at him and telling him, hey, stop, and then follow me and boss him around. That would be fun. I always like using that thing.
No, it wouldn't.
That would be the best.
No, go on your own, Andrew. That should be your roundtable character, going solo.
One of the great
high, so low.
One of the great reasons for doing all this listener feedback is they bring all these different angles of how they approach the game. Leon brings up yet another perk that I really never take advantage of that I really should because of the way I play the game. If you invest enough into the strong back perk where you can fast travel while encumbered, then that is like one of the best things in the game. I don't know why I'd never do that, because I'm always encumbered, and then I'm always trying to like pass my stuff off to my followers, and then they get full and you can't give them anymore, and then you're like, okay, now I'm encumbered and they can't take anymore, so now I got to start trading stuff, and now you got to start deciding which stuff you dump, which stuff you take, and I'm tired of dealing with that. I should just like fast travel from where I am.
Wait a minute.
I mean,
you fast travel while you're encumbered? Andrew, you're fast traveling? You're not walking everywhere? You're not doing it true walking? No fast travel?
I can't do that. You know me, Denny. I had to add some fast travel and some save abilities to my game. Otherwise, I would still be, trying to fight my way out of the vault, I think. I'd be stuck in 111 still. I didn't give myself some saves. Dance, the recall code. We talked about that a little bit. Cool. So thanks so much, Leon. Pat, he called in 3 emails. So we're just going to burn right through all of those real quick. So let's check in with Pat. He's going to do Aaron, and then Adam, and then Benoit. So thank you, Aaron, Adam, and Benoit for checking in with us. Your emails are read by Pat. So thank you guys for checking in.
Hello, everyone. It's Aaron. I wanted to give an update on my roundtable run of Fallout 4. My stats and perks on my Twitter, which is at FakeDaddy95, DAKEDADDY 95. So I can keep this email short. So I know I'm a bit late with my intro to my character, but my work schedule and me moving as well as choppy internet has limited my playtime, so I haven't been able to get into any quests yet. My character's name is Maximilian, just like Maximilian Pegasus for the Yu-Gi-Oh series. His wife was murdered in cold blood right in front of him, and his son kidnapped as well in Vault 111. He exits the vault and determines from there that he trusts no one, He goes about in this strange new world of his own as a lone wolf. He goes back to his house first in Sanctuary and finds nothing but anger and hate in his heart because his beloved wife is not around to go on this journey together like they promised years ago. He meets Preston and the Minutemen. Because it could lead to answers to who killed his wife and kidnapped his son, eventually he is led to Diamond City. He avoids it at first because he has a vendetta with the filth of the Commonwealth. Max makes his way throughout the Commonwealth and kills anything he sees until he gets to the combat zone, where he laid eyes on Kate, which broke his lone wolf rule, and he rescued her with plenty of bloodshed. Max took a liking to Kate from the start and saw parts of his life in her as well. What kind of mischief will Kate and Max get into? Hopefully something quest related, because that's where I had to stop, sadly. Max is now at level 34 after killing nothing but raiders, super mutant, and whatever the Commonwealth throws at him. Thanks for reading next time, where I hope to have some compelling audio. Thanks, from Aaron.
Awesome. Thank you, Aaron, for checking in. Mac, did he say his character's name was Maximilian? What was your character's name there, Ray?
Yeah, it's Maximilian.
Is
So
that
it's pretty awesome that there's so far there's only 2 male characters in all of the round table.
and they're both
They're both Maximilian.
What are the odds? That seems outrageous to me that you guys randomly did that.
I think it's awesome.
That's impressive. Kudos to Ray and Adam. You guys are like distant brothers. Connected.
No kudos. There should be lawsuits going on.
IP infringement.
Exactly.
Okay, so that was Adam. Thanks, Adam, for checking in. We've got Aaron.
Hello, everyone. It's Aaron.
No, we just heard Aaron. Sorry. We'll check with Adam.
Hey, guys. This is Pat. Reading some feedback from Adam for the Facebook group. This is Adam's Roundtable Season 3, Episode 2 feedback. Hi, this is Adam from Grand Rapids, Michigan. Scarlett is coming along nicely. She has set up shop in Nordhagen Beach. Her stats are Strength 4, Perception 5, Endurance 6, Charisma 6, Intelligence 6, Agility 4, and Luck 6. Her perks are Armorer 2, Blacksmith 1, Rifleman 3, Locksmith 2, Demolition Expert 2, Aqua Girl 1, Rad Resistant 1, Animal Friend 1, Local Leader 2, Vans 1, Gun Nut 3, Hacker 1, Sneak 1, Mr. Sandman 1, and Idiot Savant 2. After finishing up with Audrey and Margaret, Scarlett headed back towards Nuka World. On her way there, she picked up an emergency distress signal. Apparently, some girl had gone into Belcher's cave and had gotten trapped. It only sounded like she was about to be set upon by a pack of feral ghouls. Scarlett hurried to the cave only to discover a man inside named Dutch. He asked Scarlett to follow him as he thought he knew where the girl was. She followed him only to be led into another trap, and again, it was raiders. Their leader, a man named Black Eye Bobby, gave her the option of joining them or going to the dungeon. Scarlett decided the group might prove to be valuable allies or minions in her quest to bring order to the Commonwealth. With that thought, she decided to join the group. Black Eye Bobby gave her the whereabouts of someone named Kane that he wanted killed. If she succeeded, she would be a member of the gang. At this point, the quest Radio Raiders began. Scarlett tracked Kane to the Federal Ration Supply stockpile facility. Kane was behind the locked door. After speaking with him, Scarlett decided to release Kane and take him back to Bobby. Bobby should have been able to do his own dirty work. After getting back to Belcher's cave, Scarlett discovered that Kane was Bobby's brother, and Bobby was pleased that she hadn't killed him. Bobby handed over Zinx's shotgun as a reward. It wasn't as good as her current shotgun, but Scarlett took it anyway in order to keep Bobby happy. At this point, Like a Good Neighbor began. Bobby tasked Scarlett with pulling off heists in both Good Neighbor and Diamond City. Bobby recommended that I grab a ghoul mask from one of the corpses in back and somehow got her hands on a Diamond City Guard uniform. Scarlett headed to Good Neighbor first. She went to the Rexford Hotel and put on the ghoul mask. She found Fred Allen downstairs and easily got his stash. Then Scarlett went to Diamond City. She luckily came across a super mutant / Diamond City Guard fight. One of the guards had been killed, and Scarlett grabbed the armor in the confusion. She put it on, headed outside, and found Solomon. He too quickly handed over the goods. Scarlett headed back and handed the goods over to Bobby. Scarlett decided at this point that she had better get back to Gage. She bumped into Harvey shortly after arriving. She listened to his story and decided to leave him alone. After arriving at the overboss's apartment, Gage instructed me to speak with the leaders of the three gangs, and an ambitious plan began. Apparently, Coulter had gotten soft after the Raider gangs had captured the Nuka World entrance. Now the gangs were getting restless and wanted their own turf. Scarlet spoke with Nisha first and threatened her. This seemed to work. Next, Scarlet spoke with the leader of the operators. Scarlet again seemed to get her agreement to help. And finally, Scarlet spoke with Mason, leader of the Pack. After speaking with each Raider boss and hoping she really got their support, Scarlet returned to Gage. At this point, he became a companion, but Scarlet decided to stick with Codsworth. Now it was time to start taking over the rest of Nuka World. Thanks for listening. This play-along has been brought to you by the Fallout Feed, an ASA podcasting production, bringing you self-inflicted limb damage and Fusro dying followers off cliffs since 2013.
Oh, that's awesome. Thank you, Adam. And I apologize. The first submission was from Aaron. I feel like I said Adam the first time. It was definitely Aaron. So that second one was from Adam. Thank you so much, guys, for your submissions. We have one more from Pat reading. But I love the ghoul mask and that quest where you have to get the ghoul mask and go off and mug someone, and then get the DC guard gear and mug someone. Those are really fun quests, and I really like how they're constructed, and that's a really good example of how different the Tales of the Commonwealth quests are from like the quest structures in the regular vanilla game. I really like the ghoul mask and DC guard gear. We'll get into that much more next week when we discuss those quests more in detail. Guys, did you have any thoughts on Adam's email read by Pat? Is that a weird format to do that, by the way? Have Pat read their email and send them in?
No, I mean, it's certainly it's easier when he identifies himself as Pat reading an email than when he when he just busts out with, "Hi, this is Aaron."
Hi, this is Aaron in Pat's voice.
Yeah, so I kind of suspected that that there was some way to save Bobby's brother, but
oh yes.
it was just much easier. Max just shot him.
Oh, attaboy, Max. I wouldn't expect any less. I wonder what the twin brother Maximilian did.
He'll shoot him too. I feel it in my bones.
You guys are connected cosmically there. Yeah, so we'll definitely get into this quest more, but I played it like that too. I was like, fuck that guy. He can take care of his own dirty laundry. Why am I, in charge of taking care of his stuff? So I
felt bad because I had already shot him several times before.
Oh yeah. Is he essential?
No, he's essential to getting the quests later.
Uh-huh.
But
and we're just playing Fallout wrong.
You can just go through and kill them all and be done with it.
Kill all the things.
No, wrong. You're wrong.
Ray dropped his philosophy earlier on the Facebook page today. He said you have to kill all the things and then reload, and you have to see what happens when you kill all the things, just to see how the game reacts, and then you have to reload and play it the other way. I was like, wow, Ray, that's a pretty awesome way to do it. I like that.
It's fun.
Yeah. So we have another email. We'll get to this. It's our last email of the evening from Benoit. We might check in with Michelle's email too, actually. So we'll do Benoit, and then we'll check in with Michelle. Denny, you have your Podcatcher review corner coming up. So let's check in with that.
Hi there. This is Benoit. Just thought I'd give a short update because I thought I'd be able to do the Fallout Nuka Tales roundtable. Time, that rare commodity. In the Fallout world, Pierce the Raider has pretty much drained all he could from the railroad, and he's decided the only rooting element in this new Commonwealth is chaos. Proof of this came when he heard the 210-year-old ad for Nuka World. This world has gone bonkers, so might as well embrace the crazy. In the real world, I've been following the ASA podcast avidly, and every episode has been wanting to participate in some way. One of the things that have always gone hand in hand with both Fallout and Skyrim is modding. And I was very happy to hear that ASA Mod Talk had finally gotten off the ground. I've been crazy about modding since my early days of PC gaming, starting with the original Quake, looking for deathmatch maps and practice spots. By the time Quake 3 Arena came out, the user-made maps had become works of art, and there was a plethora of game mods to be played. The game that truly made me go overboard with modding was Flight Simulator 2004. There's so many aircraft to download, from ancient rickety World War I planes to ultra-modern fighter jets, and everything in between. Then there are the scenery's connected world, and especially the airports, so realistic, you'd swear you were flying in the real world. And then, of course, the Bethesda games. From the smallest headache-saving mod to the sprawling DLC-sized expansions, I've tried literally hundreds of mods. The ones that kept me downloading more and more were the player homes in Skyrim. At one point, I must have had 5 homes in each hold all across the land. In Fallout, I went over the top with settlement building mods. My own computer used to die when scrolling through particularly big sections of the building menu. The funny thing is, I've never built anything too crazy. It was just too fun to know that I had the tools ready if I wanted to build a particular thing. I'll have to send some of my better builds and screenshots when I'm home. Anyway, I can't wait to hear more from the ASA podcasting crew, and I'll do my best to catch a live recording soon. And hey, who knows, maybe even participate and chime in with my 2 cents worth. Happy Skyrimming. See you in the wasteland and mod dangerously. Again, that was from Benoit.
Great. Thank you, Benoit and Pat, for checking in via email. Benoit, we love your emails coming in. Please play along. Keep them coming down. I love hearing all about your interactions there. Flying mods. What the hell was he talking about with the fighter jets and all that stuff? He's not literally flying around the wasteland in a mod like a flight simulator type game now.
No, he was talking about actually modding Flight Simulator.
Oh, okay. It's like that would be impressive if someone modded so you could actually fly the vertibirds around and not just have them cart you around. You know what I mean? Where you could fly them purposefully. I don't feel like you can do that.
Well, the Giddy Up Buttercup mod that was posted in the face group, that was probably even better than being able to fly.
Have you tried it, Ray?
No, not yet.
I didn't actually watch it. Is it? It doesn't look like a horse in Skyrim.
No, it's like the idea is that it's like a horse in Skyrim where you can traverse the land, but it's a little it's not quite as smooth, but it really does work. And you're also supposed to have the ability to have your companions use it as well, but the companion function doesn't quite work yet, but I think it's coming.
How big is a Giddy Up Buttercup if you just build one from the pieces you find in the game? Where would it stand at shoulder height?
Well, it's like a regular horse.
Wow, it's that big? Wow. But yeah. Okay, not in the mod, but just one that you see in the game, like that.
Those are 3 or 4 feet tall.
Those are only about 3. Those are a little more like toy sized, but the one in the mod is like a normal horse size. That is crazy.
No, it's a legit horse that you roll around like if you were playing Skyrim.
That's amazing. I need to check that out.
Yeah, it's built on the Brahmin model.
Say that name again.
I don't remember what the name of the mod is.
What good are you then, Ray? Come on.
None.
Ray's fired. Good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Good night.
Good night.
Turn on your microphone. Turn in your badge at the door, Ray. Oh goodness. So Ray,
did you have been a contender?
You have an email. Michelle. Gosh, I don't even know. Let's check in with the horrible part first, and then we'll check in with characters. Michelle's character update. After we announce the horrible part. Do you have those both pulled up, Ray?
Yeah. So in the Facebook group, Michelle, did a post, and he writes, "My computer is kaput. This morning when I went to start, I only had a start repair pop-up window. No way to interact with it since I could not use my mouse or keyboard. Brought it to the doctor. I have no idea what happened. I always have a copy of my saves, but Fallout 4 is not installed on my laptop. And even if it was, I wouldn't be able to use it since I don't have the Nexus Mod Manager installed on my laptop computer. Installing Nexus Mod Manager and all 60 to 70 mods I had running on my saves is not something I'm willing to do. I'll have to wait and see what the technicians can do. I hope we don't have to reformat. The last time I brought my old computer there for a checkup and cleanup, I had to wait 8 or 9 days before getting it back, so I may not be able to keep up with the roundtable character. Let's wait and see.
There should be no point where Michelle has to email in a submission, because his voice is much more buttery than all of our voices are.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
We should.
I did a couple of practice runs of doing it in a French accent, but it's just not going to happen.
Michelle would love that. He would love that.
No, he
it
he
would
really
be
wouldn't.
awful.
He wouldn't love that at all.
Could appreciate the effort, I'm sure. Michelle, my heart goes out to you. That really sucks. I hope that somehow your saves are buried in a little pocket that is salvageable in the corner of your computer somehow. But that reminds me, I need to try to set up cloud saving. Everyone, I'd like to encourage you to do that if you have Xbox or the PlayStation. I assume has some similar feature, and of course on your PCs. Go ahead and save every 10 hours or so. Save a hard, really good save file to your cloud. Back it up, just so in case something like this happens, you have something to fall back on at some point. It's really unfortunate, Michelle. I'm really sorry, but hopefully through your horrible loss, you can teach our community a valuable lesson, and we take advantage and learn from. Yeah, that really sucks.
And don't worry, your save characters will go into Andrew's save games, and you will become the new companion in Andrew's save games.
Yeah, I'll just load you directly in. That'd be great. Sorry, Michelle. Go ahead and continue on, Ray. We have a character update from Michelle, and hopefully this is not the last time we hear from this character.
Since I was not able to join the live show, here's my feedback for the Quest Tales. Under the Bridge. We meet Audrey at the third rail in Good Neighbor. Talking with her, we learn that she's about 200 years old and that some gunners want her dead. I ask if I can help. There could be some good loot there. She agrees to take me as her personal goon. Curie will go back to Hangman's Alley while I deal with the matter. We head up to the old church where the gunners are supposed to be. We enter the subway station and take care of the gunners. It's already been profitable, as I find lots of pre-war money on the floor. Also find suspicious photo in a small room. We find the body of Audrey's brother, Arthur. We listen to the holotape he has in his pocket. He talks about an inheritance and gives two numbers, 14 and 82. Audrey tells me that they're probably part of a combination code for the safe. She thinks Margaret, her sister, has something to do with Arthur's death. When I show her the photo I have found, yeah, that's my sister's signature for sure. Then she says that we will have to go to an old bar, the Tremont Street Speakeasy, near the combat zone. We run into some super mutants and some raiders along the way, and then some gunners. Audrey shoots a lot, but doesn't seem to hit anything. We find Margaret at the speakeasy with a couple of guards. The two sisters talk a while, finally agree to work together. I will come along. We now have to go to the summer estate, where we enter the house. Downstairs, we enter a vault, and as soon as we're in, and Mr. Handy appears from nowhere and gives us instructions on how to get the key to the safe. We will have to pass some kind of test first. We have to make squirrel stew, which means I'll have to prepare it. The recipe is on the table, but some of the ingredients don't exist anymore. So we'll have to do it with what we have here. The squirrel stew recipe is 1 potato, 1 tomato, diced carrots, blood leaf, squirrel meat chunks, and 4 cups of water. After a couple of attempts, I get the recipe done. We follow Mr. Handy for the next test. He then tells that I will have to play the Silver Shroud with the costume and voice. And what about the machine gun, I ask, but he doesn't answer. When I miss a line, Mr. Handy tells me to start over from the beginning. After a few attempts, I finally get it right, and we can move on to the next test. In Antoinette's room, Audrey tells me that I must destroy everything in the room. That's easy and fun. We then go down to see how Margaret's doing. She says she's succeeded to disable the 3 bots. Now we go to Audrey's room, and there's a holotape on the table. The father talks about the children getting together. Just like, let's see, we just completed the test. We go back down to the safe. Inside, we find the mysterious serum of immortality, just like the one from Jack Cabot, but just 1 dose. Margaret wants the serum, and we see that she has not disabled the assaultrons, but reprogrammed them. I give her the serum and let her go. When I speak to Audrey, she says she's happy that I didn't kill her sister, despite the fact that she's betrayed us. Then she adds that she would like to accompany me from now on, and I gain the social climber perk. I receive 1.5 times the value of selling goods and 1.5 times more likely to pass a Christmas check. Nice perks. Before going out, I search the place and am rewarded for it as I find money, ammunition, chems, and a Zeta gun. I'll have to try to see if it's worth keeping on me. Tales, Sinners and Saints. We go out the east door. I don't know why, but we never used that door before. As we go out on the street, we hear gunshots. Crossing the street, we see a girl. She's the one who's being shot at. I decide to enter the fight, since bullets are now directed at us also. We kill the opponents. We then talk to the girl. Her name is Sadie. She says that the saints, some religious fanatics, were the ones who had attacked us. She protects the Boston Bordello. I ask if we can help, and she says to follow her inside. We go up and meet Cue Ball, who seems to be the boss, and Penelope, his kind of personal bartender. There's also a young boy. I wonder what he's doing there. Sadie tells Cue Ball that it's time to go take care of those saints. Yeah, okay. And she says I should come with her. He agrees and adds, but spare me the details. He seems to be more interested in his drink than in the actual situation with the saints. We get out of the brothel and follow Sadie for a while. We enter a church during what seems to be a standard ceremony, but when we hear Sadie yelling, "It's a trap," and the people start shooting at us, we get them down. On our way back, some raiders shoot at us. We get in backstreet apparel and clear the place. Then remember that this is a place that Tinker Tom had asked us to place a Mila. We go to the roof, job done, go back to the brothel. As we were going up the stairs, a guy, patron, a saint, says he wants a little chat. He asks me to give a note to Cube. I agree to do so, and the note, in effect, the note is to the effect to return a hostage, Jane, to the saints in exchange for a truce. Q asks for my opinion. I suggest return the girl home. He agrees, and we learn from her Jane was working at the brothel. She says it wasn't so bad, but now that her brother knows, we get the girl home. Patron says I've made some new friends, and as a reward, he gives me a bottle of Widow Jane 8-year bourbon. Well, I guess it's okay. We go back to Hangman's Alley and to our bed. All aboard. We went to Grey Garden to get some mute fruit. As we were there, I remembered that I should check the radio once in a while and noticed that there was a new broadcast, Nuka-Cola Family Radio. That's a message inviting people to the Nuka world. Since it's not far from here, I decided to go and take a look. Well, the welcoming party isn't particularly welcoming, to say the least. Lots of gunners who shoot on sight. One of them, we found some orders from Colonel Cypress telling the Commandant Kaler to secure the surrounding locations and report back. Inside the center, we found a guy, Harvey, who asked for help to save his family, saying that his wife and son were in the hands of some raiders. Insisting on giving him a stim pack, he finally tells us that it was a trap and that the raiders had him do that so that they can kill innocent people. I don't want to do this anymore. He gives us the password, which should enable us to enter the park. We find the terminal, restore the power to the monorail. We should now be able to enter the park. We enter the monorail and shortly after start to move. Certain gauge tells us that we are heading into a deadly trap. Just as we get out of the monorail, another voice taunts us by saying, "Look, we've got some fresh meat coming up." Taken for a ride. We find a note on a body. It seems that Casey had had enough of taking care of Sykes and decided to run off. He didn't make it. We go down some stairs. The elevator upstairs was out of order. Following the white arrows painted on the walls. As soon as we get down, turrets start shooting at us. And there are many. I have to use many stim packs. The voice on the speaker keeps taunting us. We move slowly but surely. We'll get to you, you bastard. Traps, traps, more traps, and a locked door. A radiated room, more turrets. At a certain point, we get in front of 3 doors. I wonder which one of those, if those are all trapped or if one of them is the way forward. I choose to go through the left door. Good choice. If there's one, I find the key of the storage room. Might be useful. Mirelurks, radroaches, poison rooms. I unlock the door and hack terminal to open the other doors. We're outside now and some raiders are shooting at us from above. We move ahead and get them all down. Then we finally come to some kind of an arena where Overboss Coulter continues to taunt us. As we get down, a voice calls to us on the intercom. He tells me that the fight is rigged and gives me a trick to be able to beat the boss. He says to put a weapon. He said he put a weapon inside a locker. I find a water pistol. Gage tells me about Coulter's trick. His power armor gets power from the electric grid. I remember having seen the generator with a fusion core. I go and take it out. A little bit less juice for him. A little less juice for you, sir. The trick works. I killed the boss. I talk with Gage. He tells me that I'm now the overboss. He also tells me about 3 factions that I'll have to deal with: the Disciples, the Pack, and the Operators. He wants us to meet in the overboss quarters. Well, I've had enough of your Nuka world for now. We'll come back another time. Farewell. I don't remember what Michelle's character name was. I do remember it was a female.
Well, everyone was a female. God, I'm forgetting too. I'm so sorry. But again, Michelle, it's a blow to the community. I'm so sorry that your computer decided to conk out. It's so terrible. I love that Margaret has a serum and it's just Cabot's serum. The fusion core. He was joking about the fusion core removal having any effect on his power supply at the cable car thing, right?
Well, taking fusion cores out doesn't seem to take the power down on anything.
Yeah, I didn't think it did. I mean, it makes the lights go out a little bit, but it doesn't like affect anything.
Yeah,
really.
but then they blink right back on.
Yeah, God, that sucks. I'm sorry, Michelle. But again, wonderful feedback. Thank you for the nice email about what you've been up to. Hopefully, you get to continue with the story and let us continue the adventure of that character. Yeah, so that's great. Denny, Ray, we're at a spot in the road here. It's long. We're already over 2 hours into the show. I know it's a long, beefy episode. You guys can feel free to conk out if you want to. You don't have to stick around if you have to get up early for work. And sorry, we record this late at night, guys, for pull back the curtain, everyone out there in podcast land. But I kind of want to get to the King of the Bunker Hill quiz show challenge. It's a 15-minute long episode this week, which is kind of a lengthy one, but it's actually featuring you, Ray. So I don't know. Do you want to stick around and listen to it? I really don't mind if you have to cut out at all.
I'm good. I made it this long.
Great. Yeah, awesome. Well, so that's really fun. I love this. This is one of my favorite things that we're doing on the show right now. Just a quick, before we get into that, a quick flag update for the capture the flag challenge, not challenge, but sort of game we're doing. We're all defacing the flag between the host and everything. We've rewarded it to Kevin, who I believe is down in, I don't want to offend him by saying it, I thought he was Texas as well. But Kevin has won the flag. He gets to deface it and hold on to it for like a month or so. But we're still getting all the hosts. We had to mail it back and forth between each other. So that's why it's taking it a little bit of time to get it down to Kevin.
I'm pretty sure we can blame Pat. Thank you, Pat.
Oh, I don't know. I had it for a little too long. Kara had it for a little while. Pat's had it for a while. You know, we're all shared to blame. Denny, you haven't had it yet, have you?
No, I'm still waiting patiently.
Do you have a plan? Do you have a cool little spot in your town where you're gonna like take a picture with the Brotherhood of Steel flag?
Oh, it's the Brotherhood of Steel, so we have to. I have many plans.
He's gonna go.
Plans.
He's gonna go to the gay bar in town, the steel factory, and take some pictures with the Brotherhood of Steel flag.
Well, maybe that wasn't my plan, but okay, I'll put that in the hopper.
Be open-minded. So Kevin, expect your flag, to 2018, maybe somewhere in there. This will be a fun contest once we actually get it going, guys. I swear. Okay. Before we stretch into a 3-hour show, we will get into the King of the Bunker Hill challenge, my favorite segment again, hosted by Susan, who is the host of a podcast out of Vault 97. If you want to listen to we love Susan's podcast, so everyone please check in with King of the Bunker Hill, hosted by Susan, featuring champion Michelle versus challenger Ray. Live from Vault 97, it's the King of the Bunker Hill Quiz Show Challenge. It's the show where contestants compete to come back week after week to see who can collect the most Funko mystery minifigures. Brought to you by the Fallout Feed and ASAPodcasting. And now, your host, Susan.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, ghouls and super mutants alike. You're here with me, Susan Reith, for the King of the Bunker Hill, the quiz show that sets out to find who is the wisest in all the wasteland. Today, we have our returning champion, Michelle. How are you doing, Michelle? Are you ready to go?
I'm fine, and you?
I am excellent, and it is wonderful to have you back here in Vault 97. And after some stonking weeks as the champion, I think you'll find that we've got Ray tonight, and he's one hell of a challenger. So I think he's gonna give you a good run for your money, Michelle. So how are you doing this evening, Ray?
I am well and ready to give Michelle a run for his money.
That is excellent. And I think, Ray, personally, I think you're the man that's going to do that for us because according to your application form for being on King of the Bunker Hill, you come from a long line of Deathclaw Whisperers. So would you like to explain how that works as a Deathclaw Whisperer?
Well, you only get one shot at it.
I imagine so. And have you had any scary experiences with the Deathclaws and you're whispering to them?
Well, nothing that Adam's judgment can't set straight.
Excellent. And I take it. So when you whisper to these Deathclaws, which I assume sort of calms them, do you sell them on, or do you kill them for meat and various other things? I mean, what's kind of the overall aim for you with the whole Deathclaw whispering gig?
Well, I'm really trying to adjust them back into society, get them to where they can live harmoniously in any one of my settlements.
Oh, that's excellent, because I mean they're fairly big, so I imagine they're quite handy to moving, heavy sofas and the like.
Yeah, you can get stuff up on the second and third floor without much trouble.
Oh, brilliant. Well, that's fantastic, and that's a really fascinating little sort of profession for you. Thank you very much, Ray. Okay, well, so we've introduced our contestants, and now it is time for the bit you've all been waiting for, listeners. It is, of course, the questions. So, Michelle, as defending champion, you will be going second in this round. So I'm going to ask you to get back into our little soundproof booth over there and just give me a little signal when you're ready to go. So if you'd like to do that for me now, that'd be fantastic.
Okay.
Okay, he's getting into his little soundproof booth. Yep, there we go. He's is he going to give me the little signal to say that he's what I'm saying? Excellent. Okay, Ray, it is now just you and me. And are you ready? Are you pumped? Are you all good to go?
Absolutely.
Excellent. Okay, that sounds good. Solid. I'm feeling good things here, Ray. I'm feeling like you might be the guy to knock Michelle off the perch. So here we go. Question 1. What item acts as the MacGuffin in the original Fallout game? So I don't know how familiar you are with the franchise, but what is it?
I know the game exists.
It does indeed exist.
It's is it a book?
It's not a book.
Okay.
Do you want to take another wild go out there? Just give it a go.
The Gek.
I'm afraid that is incorrect. You have it's the water chip. The Gek is Fallout 2, I believe. Obviously, please correct me if I'm wrong, people. Okay, never mind. That's just the first one. That's it. It's done. It's in the past. Question 2. What comedic actor voices Yes Man the Robot in Fallout New Vegas?
Wow. Again, no idea.
Okay, and so yeah, I will start. I can't really give you any clues on this one because I can't think of anything off the top of my head this actor has done.
I'll buzz out on that one.
You're gonna buzz out. Okay, that's fine. You could just say any name. Just why not? Just before you throw it away, just throw any male comic actor out there.
Woody Allen.
I'm afraid that is incorrect. The correct answer is Dave. The correct answer is Dave Foley. Okay, right.
Who the heck is that?
Yeah, you know what? I don't know. I mean, I guess we could probably write to whoever writes these questions and set one of your death claws on him. That would be a good idea.
Done and
okay. Done. You should certainly look into that. Question 3. Okay, maybe back to more what we're into here. Question 3. What special item does Erickson sell on Far Harbor in Fallout 4? Probably items is a better word to describe it.
Pet dogs.
Ding, ding, ding. That is correct. I think something's wrong with our little ding, ding bell thing there. Okay. Question 4. Thank you, Bell. Question 4. Name or describe Preston Garvey's affinity perk for Fallout 4. So I'm willing to be a bit flexible with this one because it's a complicated answer.
Yeah, so you get added protection when you're fighting 3 or more enemies.
I was about to say, yeah, that's basically it. Yep, that's it. Well done. Okay, fantastic. So we are 2 for 4. Well, 2 out of 4. So this is good. So now we're on to question 5. How much does a stim pack weigh in Fallout 4 survival mode?
0.2 pounds.
Is that your final answer?
Yeah, no, I would only be additionally guessing from there.
Okay. Unfortunately, as the buzzer went, because clearly I'm not allowed to give you the final answer thing. The actual answer is 0.1. So that's it. Okay. So that is 2 out of 5. But Ray, you know what? That's a fantastic result because that's a really tough round. Because it turns out maybe the writer of these questions did have a difficult week.
That's one more than I thought I would get.
Okay. Right, Ray. Well, you can keep your headphones on, and we're now going to invite Michelle back into the studio. So let's get Michelle back in, shall we? Just gotta take off his little headphones out of the booth. You ready to join us now, Michelle?
Yeah.
Excellent. Okay, I'm not going to tell you what Ray got in the in his round. So we're just going to go straight on into it. But I can tell you this is a difficult round. I was wrong when I said that the writer of these questions had not had a difficult week. He clearly has. Okay, so are you pumped, Michelle? Are you ready to go? As returning champion, you've got a lot to prove. Do you think you can do it?
May the luck be with me.
Okay, excellent stuff. Right. Question 1. What item acts as the MacGuffin in the original Fallout game?
The Gek.
In the original Fallout game.
I don't remember.
Okay, I'm afraid that is incorrect. It is the water chip. It's the water chip. Gek is 2. At least I think it is. Please, probably lots of people in the comments, you will shout at me if I'm wrong, but I think it's 2. Okay. Never mind. Let's just put a pin in that one. It's done. Question 2. What comedic actor voices Yes Man the Robot in Fallout New Vegas?
No idea.
To be honest, neither did I. So, I mean, just, you know what? Take a stab at any male comedic actor.
I really don't know.
That's okay. It's all right. Honestly, everyone's like, what? Yes, so that, unfortunately, you are incorrect, Michelle. The answer for that is Dave Foley. And no, I don't know who he is.
I don't know him.
Yeah, no, don't worry. Don't worry. It's fine. Okay. Question 3. What special item or items does Erickson sell on Far Harbor in Fallout 4?
Harpoons?
Is that your final answer?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm afraid that is incorrect. It is. The correct answer is dogs. He sells dogs. Okay, no worries. On to question 4. Name or describe Preston Garvey's affinity perk for Fallout 4? It's a bit of a complicated answer, so you can be a little bit. Yeah, so I'll take either the name of the thing, or if you could describe what it does, I'll take either.
You have less damage when you're against multiple enemies.
Yeah, yep, that's it. Basically, yeah, damage resistance when you're against enemies. Can you give me how many enemies, just to really
More
push?
More than 3.
Yeah, that's it. Ding, ding, ding. That is correct. Okay. Brilliant. So, all right. Okay, that's fine. We're 1 out of 4, but don't worry. Here comes question 5. How much does a stim pack weigh in Fallout 4 survival mode?
Survival mode. I've never played survival mode. I will say 0.5.
Oh, I'm afraid I'm not going to push you on this one, because if you've never played survival mode, it's a bit insane.
Yeah.
I'm afraid that is incorrect, Michelle. The answer is 0.1.
Oh.
It's they're quite generous with the weights of the old stim packs. Okay, well, in that case, that means after today's episode, Ray has scored 2 and Michelle has only scored 1 out of 5. That means Ray is today's champion. How are you feeling, Ray?
Fabulous.
Yeah, what do you think you're going to do with that awesome Funko figure?
It'll be the first in my collection.
Oh, and do you have a special shelf for these your trophies? Because as a Deathclaw Whisperer, I imagine you're quite an achiever, so you probably have a whole shelf of trophies and the such. So where do you think you're going to put it in your nice living room? I don't know. Do you have a living room? Are you living out there in the wasteland? Do you have a shack somewhere? Where do we think it's going to go?
It'll go on the shelf in home base.
Nice. That's good. Okay, excellent. And Michelle, commiserations to you, but you have been an absolutely astounding contestant. You've held on for a few weeks now, and I'm just sorry to see you go, but it is obviously your time, but it's been an absolute pleasure having on this show. So I'm sorry to see you go.
My pleasure. Congratulations, Ray.
Thanks, Michelle.
All right. Well, I think obviously this means that Ray, you now get to defend your title on the next episode of King of the Bunker Hill. How are you feeling about that? You ready? You going to be good?
I'm ready to go.
Okay, excellent. Well, that is, and just we have to say once again, thank you, Michelle, for being such an excellent contestant. Thank you, our current champion, Ray. Looking forward to seeing you next time. And that is all we have for this week's episode of King of the Bunker Hill. Stay safe in the wasteland, listeners.
Thank you for listening to this edition of the King of the Bunker Hill Quiz Show Challenge, brought to you by the Fallout Feed and ASAPodcasting. Join Susan next time to see who will win the coveted Funko Mystery Minifigures and be crowned King of the Bunker Hill.
Awesome. Oh, that was good fun.
Congratulations, Ray.
Thank you. Oddly enough, tonight I got 5 out of 5.
Oddly enough, you might have heard those before. So next week, Ray, we can't reveal the results, of course, but challenger Adam joins into the contest of King of the Bunker Hill next time. I don't necessarily want to say next week, but next time that we check in with King of the Bunker Hill, Ray, step toe-to-toe with challenger Adam, who we checked in earlier with an email who was read by Pat. So that's a crazy sentence structure there. So thanks again for checking in with us, everyone. Be sure to check out the West Vault Radio podcast on Vault 97. What's the website? Vault97.com, I believe. Go check out. Great podcast. Also, there's a mod. The Old World Radio mod, I believe it's called. They're a part of that. If you'd like to listen to their podcast while playing your Fallout 4 game, go ahead and load that mod, and you can listen to their podcast streaming through your Pip-Boy. It's really awesome. It's really awesome that they did that to their podcast. So,
yeah, well, and you can also build radios that play their station for your settlements.
oh, that's wonderful. I haven't done that yet. I need to start doing that. Just have Susan building radios all over the settlement. That's all she does. She spends time looking for robo brain heads and building radios to play her own show. Oh, that's good stuff. Okay. Well, we're going to check in with Denny's new segment that we're calling Denny's Podcatcher Review Corner. Podcatcher, because we want to check in with other places. I generally use iTunes, but I know other people use Stitcher and other podcatchers out there. So we want to check in with the reviews on different formats all over the place. So, but this one comes from iTunes. And I know this is sort of a self-aggrandizing, stupid sort of practice, but I just thought it was nice to shout out to the people who gave us a shout out on the iTunes. So it's Damien. It looks like Diamond, except for the M and the I are switches. So Damien from iTunes says, great podcast for those who are interested in games like Fallout and Skyrim. The hosts are laid back and their tangents often yield some of the greatest nuggets. Be part of a community of people who all agree that Fallout, and especially Fallout 4, are awesome games. Well, that's great. So thank you, Damien, for your nice comment. He gave us 5 stars on iTunes. Much appreciated. And that is our newest segment, Denny's Podcatcher Review Corner. So I hope everyone enjoyed that horrible new segment that I'm going to try to do.
You can work on that.
Ray, thank you so much for joining us on the show this evening. Do you have any last thoughts, any last words, anything else going on in the game and your gaming life?
No. It's I'm getting to a place right now where I think I might have enough time to start digging into do a little more work on the creation kit.
Oh, so you think... I remember that you and Marcus were working on something in Skyrim where you were going to try to get an ASA podcasting wizard robe or something together. I remember that you were actually kind of helping him with that process, were you not?
Yeah, so I've got I've done modding before, and so
awesome. What game?
I've done the first one I ever did was Silent Hunter. It was a submarine simulation, and I worked with a group to turn it into a multiplayer game.
Wow.
That was the biggest one.
The first time I ever heard of modding was in relation to Skyrim. I didn't even know what that was. I didn't know people could do that. How long has modding games been around, like in the form that we know it?
Pretty much since games have been around. I mean, it's...
Wow. Yeah. I just have never heard of that stuff until Skyrim came around, you know?
Yeah, I mean, it was certainly easier in the old days. I mean, you know, you didn't have to use tools like the creation kit or anything like that. You could just open them up and tweak them, you know, with a, you know, just a regular notepad app.
Yeah. If you know what you're looking at when you see all the script behind the scenes. Yeah.
But yeah, so, you know, kind of putting myself on the hook a little bit. I've taken a couple of runs at it, but then think, oh, but I need to do this character in Skyrim, or ooh, I need to do, you know, the Peanut Man in Fallout 4. You know. And, so it just, you know, I'm easily distracted.
Oh, that's good stuff. So if you were going to make a mod for Fallout 4, Ray, what would you start with, and what would your ultimate goal be?
I don't know. I mean, that's always where I run into the most trouble is I could just I can't think of what I want to do, and so I think, well, I should just kind of putz around in the game a little bit and see what I can figure out, and then next thing I know, I'm playing a new character and forget all about modding. So,
can I make a suggestion?
Of course.
Would you be willing to try to mod a star core locator, which would be especially appropriate since we're playing the Nuka World quest with our roundtable right now? Is that something that you'd be interested in trying? Is that too plain and dumb, or were you interested in trying something more exciting?
No, I mean, I got to start out small. I don't think I'm going to make a Tales from the Commonwealth on my first run through modding.
Oh, come on, be ambitious.
But first off, I got to figure out what these star cores are. We talked about it last week, and I still haven't come across them. So,
oh, you will. You'll hate them. Okay. You'll know why. Andrew once. Pat always says, "Oh, it's no big deal." Don't you like how I make Pat sound super intelligent with my Pat? Oh, it's no big deal, Andrew. Sorry, Pat. I don't mean to insult you with you. Pat says it's not a big deal because they're so close together. In Skyrim, it's similar to the Baron Zestone's quest, but they're spread out all over the damn map. And he says, well, at least in Nuka World, they're all contained within the amusement park area. And I still say they're a pain in the ass. They're Baron Zestones. Yes, they're in a more enclosed area, but there are 35 of them. There are more of them, which, if they're more condensed, it should be easier to find them. But for some reason, they're still super annoying. But Ray, if you could just make a mod that, I don't know, I don't need anything special. Just you can put quest markers above each one and toggle which ones you want so that you don't have like 18 quest markers all at once. But you could because I think in the sub menu, it actually categorizes the star cores by zones of the park. So you could just click on for the galactic zone. So it doesn't have all 35 of them in the park all marked at once, but just the 5 in that section of the park. So it's a lot less confusing, something like that. I don't know. We'll talk behind scenes. Of course, you do not have to do this at all. That's just something that comes off the top of my head because that's a common theme on the show. I'm sure the listeners are super tired of hearing me blather on about.
Yeah, well, certainly, any suggestions are welcome. It'll help give me direction, and
how about
hopefully, not, send me in some new character direction.
What would be the equivalent of a wizard robe with the ASA podcasting symbol on it? What was the Fallout version of that?
We could do a vault suit.
Vault, yay! I like that idea. A vault suit with ASA podcasting stamp on it. I enjoy that idea. Or one for the Fallout feed specifically too. You could. I like this. Run with it, Ray. I like that.
Yeah, we'll see where it goes.
Awesome. Okay, great. And on that note, Ray, thank you so much for joining us this evening on the Fallout feed. You're welcome back, of course, next week if you'd like to join us again to actually discuss the quests. But I understand if you're tired of hanging out with us, we can come on. You're welcome to join us next time.
Thanks. It's a good time. I enjoy myself.
Great. Thank you so much for joining us. Denny, thank you for joining us earlier. I understand he had to hop off. He had a loss in the family. So thank you for the time that you could spend with us this evening, Denny. I hope that it was some sort of consolation to your feelings. Our thoughts go out to you, Denny.
Indeed.
So on that note, for Pat, thank you for all your feedback through the other people that you gave feedback for. That is, of course, Michelle and Benoit, Adam and Aaron, Leon, Jeremy, Ray, thank you for your feedback, of course. And Pat, you gave us a nice chunk of feedback there at the beginning of the show. So thanks all you guys for checking in, and we will see you next time on the Fallout feed. We'll see you in the wasteland.
Good night, everybody.
Thank you for downloading this episode of the Fallout Feed Roundtable. If you are interested in doing a play-along character with us, the show can be contacted by emailing falloutroundtable@gmail.com. For the roundtable schedule, our Amazon link, and all other show information, please head on over to ASAPodcasting.com, where you will find the Fallout Feed, a Skyrimatic podcast, our YouTube channel, the Chatterbox, as well as other content. Once again, thank you for downloading, and we'll see you in the wasteland.